What's up, everybody? Gonna do some early morning Warcraft with my brother here in a few minutes. At least that's the plan. Got me up at 3:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. As for what the rest of the day holds, it remains to be seen, but it is raining outside. So I can't really... Oh, shit. Short ads revenue will begin in early February. Oh, yeah. To enable this and other updates, new YouTube partner program terms will be able to start. Oh, this is awesome. All right, my brother did send me a message, so I know he's awake now. I have coffee. Do I need any? No, I've got ammunition, so we're good to go there. Let's do my first aid while I'm sitting here. Oh, I need to. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's up. What am I forgetting? So you'll notice Pippin is back there sleeping. She has the cone on again. We had to put the cones back on her and her sister because we took the cones up. We took her cone off like 4 or 5 days ago, and we took Mary's cone off 2 days ago. But they have been, um, they went off into the woods yesterday and the day before it. Pippin was gone for like 6 hours yesterday, doing God knows what in the woods. And she came back home, and her scar had the suture area, where they put the stitches, she'd been licking at it apparently somewhere in the woods or whatever. And if I had to guess, she's probably climbing trees and doing all sorts of stuff. And it was just looking like it was, needed to have some medicine put on it and stuff. So we put the cone back on her and her sister and said, nope, you're not allowed to go out for another few more days because you're out there acting like you're completely healed and you're not ready yet. So I can't supervise them when they're out in the woods. So where did I put the bandages there? All right.
Well met. Safe
So she's sleeping in here. I was talking to the stream.
Mm.
You probably have some new bags in your inventory in your mail.
Ooh.
All right, I have coffee. I actually slept a little bit last night. Also went to bed early.
And I don't know what sickness I got, but it's got to be like bacterial, because my throat is still freaking messed up, and it's been like 2 weeks.
Like hurting or
It's like swollen and yeah.
yeah, that's a bacterial, dude. You need to go to the doc.
It's too late now. It's been like 2 weeks.
It's not too late, man. It could turn into something more serious. Bronchitis can last for weeks if you don't take
Ah.
care of it.
Well, I thought I was better, and then like we went to that birthday party Saturday night, and they had a bonfire outside, and that kind of like set it back off.
Yeah, that would be why. That would be you, man. Ugh.
Good day to you.
I flew out to Fort Wildervar, and I'm just grabbing
Yeah,
all the
I see you
quests
around.
here.
Greetings for the Alliance.
I need to remember that you are not griffined. Go ahead and reset my bind point to here, I think.
I supply only the finest goods. See you later.
So, I'm gonna. No, you're just waking up. So I got some deets on the game we love to talk about that we can't name.
Oh, good.
So, massively and MMORPG.com posted some stuff, and it's just not looking good.
You need something?
So the person who likes to never show their face but will make posts about how amazing things are and how progress is great. Don't worry if we're not around. We're still here, promise. Made a post about how the whole system's getting gutted and redesigned, and
Oh,
and
no.
and it was don't worry, we're here for the long haul.
Hey there. Safe travel.
So that got shared out to the gaming outlets, and you know it's not a lot of comments over it massively, but on MMORPG.com, it's just a bunch of people ridiculing. I guess the concurrent population is already down to less than 500, which is about that's a significant drop, like 40% drop of what they had at launch, which was less than 1,000. And then you got a bunch of people who are already complaining that they're not gonna sub when the subs hit in 2 weeks. And there's one I gotta read you. Again, no names, so you know. What's up, Chris? Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye. There was one comment in particular that made me laugh. Oh yeah, here's my favorite. There's what, about 2 weeks before the free 30 days with purchase runs out? Yeah, that's about that long until the game's dead. It says when you read the announcement from the executive producer and the post only gets 2 likes, one of which is from the community manager, that indicates something to me. And the other post wasn't even put in the news section. It was buried in the general discussion. It's like, you would think that if you're going to make an announcement about how Um, you guys aren't going to be around answering posts anymore, but trust us, we're still working on things. You think that would get put in the news section, not the general discussion?
Yeah, you'd think.
It's just, and there's,
A mess.
I think I looked on Saturday night. There was one person streaming the game at 8:30 at night on a Saturday night prime time. One person streaming the game with 3 people watching.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're in this for the long haul. Don't worry,
So
trust
they're
us.
so launch and then cut everything and spend another year in
Yep,
development. Like,
yep, yep.
yeah.
Because nothing worked. My favorite was, the post about how, hey guys, the one we saw like a week ago, we did the testing, and unfortunately, all the data we got in testing didn't apply to live. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you only had 15 people testing. Um,
Mm,
and so we're gonna be changing the whole systems. But then they made the official post, which is what the game outlets ran with yesterday. And trust us, we're changing the whole system. We're changing the entire questing system. We're changing the entire difficulty system. We're changing the entire con system. Well, not the con system, but the entire difficulty system. The entire questing system is getting revamped. We're lowering difficulty on all mobs.
and we're gonna put more of them.
Yep. I don't know about more of them, but yeah.
Well, that's how it usually works.
Yeah. It's just, oh man, the hubris. The hubris. We don't need a creative director. We can do this all on our own. Again, no names, so no one can say anything. We're watching this stream. I could be talking about anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are several games that fit that criteria.
Oh, Crowfall shut down. I don't know if you knew much about
Uh,
that one, but they announced
I
yesterday
mean, I know about it. Yeah.
they're shutting the game down, and they're going back into development to redesign the game from scratch. And it's like, yeah, that time's already passed. Like, you're not Final Fantasy 14, like with a $5 billion budget that you can do that. Like,
It's not good. Yeah.
nope. Just shows that indie stuff can't survive and thrive.
Which is unfortunate. Like, every game that gets launched is just proving that, and it's really hurting the genre, man.
It is. It's hurt. It sucks because every failure is another reason why investors won't invest and why
Yep.
consumers won't buy and trust is lost. And oh, you took my money and did what with it? Oh, you won't give me your. I can't play your game, but you won't give me a like your game's performance is so bad, but you won't give me a refund. What? That's the big thing that I don't think they had considered, and somebody brought this up, and I was like, that's a very good point. So if you refuse to give money back, and you totally can. You can have a terms of service where you say, refunds, no refunds allowed. However, people can start doing chargebacks on their credit cards. And your point of service, the company that you use to charge customers for your product, they will drop you if you start receiving a large number of chargebacks because they lose money on chargebacks.
Yeah.
And it just shows that you're not a trustworthy vendor to use. And I was like, that's going to come bite them in the ass too. If you're refusing to give refunds, that's why I had always gone through PayPal because you can't do chargebacks through PayPal.
Yeah.
You can request a refund, but the vendor can then contest that refund. And I think during the course of 7 years, we only had like 5 people request refunds, and they were always for bullshit reasons, and I won every single one of those refund cases.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not looking good
It's
for
not
them.
looking good, bro. I think it'll be back down to the 60, 80 people from alpha
Oh,
by the end of
by the end of the month.
by the end of the month.
Yeah.
Which you called that like 2 weeks before they launched.
Yeah.
That'll maybe make your scratchy throat feel a little better.
Not
Sweet.
really.
No, but I don't know. There's something about the sweet taste of I told you so.
Yeah. Just sucks.
It does suck all
All
around.
around.
Hey, Pippin. You want to come over here with Daddy? Come here. Yeah, come here.
Pieces of trapped. What I find funny is there's two people who are, investors, and they love to play video games. They didn't even give it enough of a crap to,
I don't even.
patch it and play.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't even logged into patch and play because it's just not appealing to them.
Yep. I bet. Well, yeah.
Don't leave me hanging, man.
What?
Said you. I bet, and then you just like.
Oh, you're streaming, so there's things I'm
Oh,
not gonna say.
okay.
but-
That's fair. Hey, as long as you preface with, we're not gonna. This could be any game that we're talking about.
Yeah, but I was gonna say something about the structure.
Oh, well, yeah. That's probably. What's up?
Things that are not public knowledge.
Yeah. Things that aren't public knowledge, we have to. Shh. Hush, hush. Let me share this with you. Oh, no, that was the one you just got. Alright, you have all the quests I have now, so.
Okay.
I guess we need these things. Oh, did you just ninja? Oh, hello. That's gonna spawn something. Well, I gotta say, man, I don't care what happens with communities or anything else. As long as you and I get to play together, that's all I really give a shit about, bro.
Yeah, man. And
We
there's
have
always gonna
fun.
be games
Yeah, we
slice
have
of
fun
WoW.
every time we play Star Wars: The Republic. We have fun every time we play Lotro. And
know
I was
that
just
we've not
thinking,
fun on any game that we've tried. I even had fun when we played the Vanguard emulator, and that was pretty rough when we played it.
well, because I was also thinking at some point you and I need to do retail together because
Oh, absolutely.
we can do. There's the dungeon finder, there's the raid finder. Like we could do all sorts of. We wouldn't even need to do a guild or anything for that because of the way it's all set up to where you can just use the dungeon finder. I need to not drown.
What are we supposed to be getting here?
Off of the dudes, we're getting these barb fish. Oh, I guess they're not
Oh.
dudes. They're fish. They're literally fish that spawn when we click the metals. I've got 4 of 5.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any.
What?
Lame. Yeah.
The
that's
quest
the
is
point.
called I'll Try Anything?
I mean, I can click the water plants.
Have you
Yeah, I'll
have
try
the
anything.
mobs haven't dropped anything for you?
No.
Well, they've dropped one every time for me. Here, come check this corpse back
Well,
here.
that's why.
No, but it's been 1 corpse for me, 1 corpse for you, 1 corpse for me, 1 corpse for you. Like the one behind us is for you. This one's for me.
Oh, see, now this one does have something now.
Well, what the hell? Well, let me put it on free for all before we do the next one.
But none of these back here. Yeah, none of these are shiny.
All right. Well, it's free for all loot now, so you can loot all the next ones.
Ninja looter.
Although I
Get
can't
on all
click
my
the
fish.
thingies now, so you'll have to be the one who clicks them and
Yeah, I got it.
spawns the fishies.
I can breathe underwater anyways, because I'm not a noob.
What?
Oh,
Oh.
it just wore off. I still have things in my inventory to let me breathe underwater from previous quests.
I was gonna say I still have one more poop berry,
Oh,
poop
I've
cherry.
got that. I was saving that because that lasts for like 5 minutes. This was a fish bladder, and I'm not sure where we
Oh,
got
where
it
did it
from.
go? I have one too. I'm using it. It's a 3-minute thingy. Oh, that's from the very first quest we did in the harbor here. So, because one of the things that just happened with the Dragonflight pre-patch for the new expansion is it's back to having a talent tree like we have here.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, it's pretty awesome. Like, um, I played on Sunday and respec my hunter, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's a really well done talent tree. The UI's a little weird now, but
I need a target.
I just can't get over how good retail WoW looks.
yeah, performance is.
It's got to be, something said for having your own game engine that you build your game in. It's like
Mhm.
you know and you can tweak everything. And
Oh, Pippin, you're gonna fall. Sweetie. Hang on. Come here, baby.
That spell isn't ready yet.
all right, that's all my barb fish.
Alright. There's something we could get over here. I don't know what it is. It says down to the wire and trapped prey. Pippin, I'm gonna move you to the bed if you're gonna be all obnoxious. This is sleep time, not attack time. Alright, sweetie, back to the bed with you. You're trying to attack my cords and my hands. Come here. So, apparently there's something we need here. I don't know what it is. Ooh, there's a quest down there too.
There's these little trapped bastards everywhere.
Oh, okay. And there's a lady down there that...
There's tantalizing centaurs.
Still recharging.
Tantalizing? What?
Hey baby, how about a ride?
Well,
Is there trouble?
Oh shit, there's a big ass warg, dude. Not cool. Hey,
this is to kill the
Hey.
ice elementals.
is this one black? No, it's just gray.
Yeah, it's just gray. We totally need these guys, though. Oh, are you wanting to go out? Hold up, I gotta let the cat out. All right, I'm back. So I posted in the tabletop group this morning, but I literally logged in this morning, and on my main YouTube account, YouTube had the announcement that monetization of shorts is coming in February, and the new YouTube partner agreements are coming in mid-January, which
okay.
means that for like the Weave in the Void YouTube channel, we're just, I mean, it was the perfect time to make that decision to switch from Twitch to YouTube,
Yeah.
Can't start yet.
because we'll be able to start
Yeah, I think
monetizing
so.
shorts and everything starting February. And I don't know what the criteria are going to be, because they're supposedly lowering the criteria to get monetization, but if we're starting now, not a bad thing.
That spell isn't ready
I'm going to let you just get all these things you need to harvest, and I'll do mine later.
yet. I don't have a target. I can't.
I have an unspent talent. That means when I dinged, I forgot to level up.
Well, chop,
What do I want?
chop.
What do I want to put this in?
Got some bodies over here to loot.
I love it how in Classic, like, you go to put your talent, as soon as you click on it, it's committed, not, are you sure?
Are you
wanna
sure
do
you want to
this?"
do this?
It's just like, yeah, that's the one he clicked.
Yeah, that's totally like I deleted quest items during the pre-patch because there was no like secondary confirmation. Are you sure you want to delete this?
Yep. Actually a quest item.
You may not want to chuck this.
Classic don't care. And again, be a noob. Delete your quest items.
What do you have in retail, by the way?
Oh, dude. I was an alt fanatic. I have
Okay.
everything.
All right.
When I patched, I didn't know that they'd done the level crunch. So like all my level 95s and everything, I saw that they were like level 15 or 20 or whatever, and I almost had a panic attack. I thought they de-leveled me.
Because I still haven't gotten confirmation from Chris on everything. But even if she doesn't decide to start streaming, I'm playing retail on Sunday mornings. And I know that you often have church and stuff. But, you know, if there's ever a spare morning.
Oh, there's what server are you on?
I don't think it matters because you and I can group up regardless of well, at least
Oh,
we can
that's
group
right.
not for I don't know that we can do it for groups, but I know we can for dungeons. We can group up. I'll have to get you my server. I think I hit level 30 something the other day. I played for like 4 hours on Sunday morning. I woke up I started streaming at like 5 in the morning and just played and just kept going, and it was like I was having a lot of fun. Like I don't do it more than once a week because I have other commitments, but I finally finished like the first starter zone in Battle for Azeroth, and like I finished the main series of like intro quests. It literally called it the intro, and I'm
Yep.
like level 30, 32, 30 something. I'm mid 30s, I think. Early 30s, mid 30s, something like that. And I'm like, it only goes to 50. Like I just like I'm already level
So-
30 after the intros.
I don't know. So when the Warlords of Draenor launched, they had put in garrisons, and I don't know. Do they still have garrisons?
I
around,
haven't
or
been
do they take
I've not been told about them, so I don't know.
You see, that was something. It's housing basically, and I thought it was super cool. And I know a lot of people struggled with it, but because you could set up like a mining facility, so like you could have guys go mine, and so you put in work orders and stuff like that for crafting.
Oh, that's kind of like
items.
EverQuest 2. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Now I'm sure it's changed because that was at launch, so I don't know. And that was the last expansion I really played. Because I have up to Legion, but now I have up to the new one because I think they gave it
Shadowlands.
to Yeah.
Yeah, you and I
for-
both got Shadowlands as part of being subscribed for World of Warcraft Classic, which is what I'm going through Battle for Azeroth because it leads you to Shadowlands after that. And then basically we would play through all of Shadowlands, and then if we ever decided we wanted to continue. I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because technically we have access to all of it while we're subbed to World of Warcraft Classic. Not to take away from what we're doing, because this is our priority.
Absolutely.
But
But we could be like the cool kids.
just saying,
Play everything else.
Sunday morning. Yeah. Just saying, Sunday mornings. If you're ever not doing anything else, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And,
Is that when you play?
yeah, I usually am just getting up early and playing. Like, I don't think I have a set schedule, but that's
See,
literally
I
what
don't
I do on Sundays.
I don't have to leave until 8:15 on Sunday mornings. It takes me like 30 minutes to eat breakfast and get ready, so I'd have to get off at like 7:30. I mean, I could play for a little bit probably.
It's up to you.
I need to get Josh's laptop may have took a poop.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I thought Christina's that monitor is just so the other day, and I don't know if it's because the cats jumped on it and did something, but the monitor completely quit working on the laptop. Thankfully, I'm plugged into the TV because it was completely black and I had a panic attack, and then I turned on the TV and it was fine. I was like, okay, so that cable's just gone out, and then so then whatever, doing some stuff the other day, moved the desk around to maneuver the PlayStation, and magically the monitor came back on, and I'm like, I don't know what, that thing's just old and that cable's finicky. And
I tell you what I really want. I really want to get an Xbox so we can play like.
please, I know
would-
it's, money's tight, I know it's
Oh, money's extremely tight right now. It's stupid. But I would love to, cause see if I have an Xbox, we could go and play. Now, I know you don't like PvP. I love Halo PvP.
I would play Halo group
I know you would.
with you. No, I used to do that with Luke. And hey, by the way, how many of
Yes.
these do you still need?
The course.
Yeah.
I may
Put
have
on
all
free
of the
for all.
course. What quest was that?
Spirits of the Ice.
What the hell is it? Yeah, I have all the cores.
Okay, so now we just need trapped.
Okay.
I still need trapped
Yeah.
prey.
So do I. I need like 4 of them.
All right, well
Feathers
here's yeah. I'm just gonna run around and we'll just here.
That's what I was doing. Was just killing stuff.
So I would happily play Halo Infinite multiplayer with you.
Yeah.
I literally just, by the way, so the other day with my Xbox, I reinstalled Halo Infinite because I haven't played it since it launched. I was like, I would totally play that again, just for something. I downloaded 7 games on my Xbox, and got them all patched up and ready to go. God of War drops tomorrow, so I'll be playing that for the next. But in any case, I would happily play Halo with you, man, because that's if I had. So I'm glad you said that because I don't want to play those types of things by myself. But like I've been watching a lot of Dr. Disrespect playing Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. And I'm like, man, if I had people that would play with me, I would so set up a static group and play that game.
It makes all the difference.
And same thing with Halo multiplayer. Like, I would love to play with Liam, but Liam has no time because he loves the multiplayer. He plays with his brother, but his schedule is so weird because he's working for UPS and he's in overtime and he's got 2 internships and
That dude's a hustler, man.
He is, and he's gonna make it. But I also, he's got reasons, like family reasons, like
Yep.
he's got an adopted daughter, and you know, he and I talked about it one time. I don't want to air personal stuff, but adoption costs a lot.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So he has
That's what
motivation.
that's what blows my mind about him. Adoption, even with the animals. Okay, like if you
Oh
want to
yeah,
adopt an animal, you have to be so qualified. You have to have all these facilities. If you want to go buy an animal, no big deal, right?
$15,
Yeah,
sometimes
whatever.
free in front of Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. But it's same with kids. Oh, you want to have a kid? Go for it.
Free.
Whatever.
Well, it's not
We'll,
free, but yeah.
we'll do subsidized healthcare, and we'll pay for it as much as we can. Right, right, right. Oh, you
No,
want to adopt this kid that really needs a home? Nope. You gotta have, great income, beautiful house. You know, not
not to
saying that those things aren't requirements. I
yeah.
just think it's funny.
Not to sidetrack. You'll want to turn that quest in right here at the Dryad at the Centaur because it's 2 follow-ups.
Well, I was looking for more trapped prey. I still need two.
Hmm. I still need 6. I'm just saying I went ahead and turned that in case there was a follow-up, and it turns out there is.
Fallen sisters. So I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time I'm like excited for the next episode of Andor to come out now.
Are you caught up?
I'm on. Yeah, I watched 9.
Okay. So we can talk. Yeah. And by the way, anybody who's watching the stream or anybody who's watching this later, this will be spoiler alert territory for Andor. So feel free to tune out, look away, dude. When I heard Andy Serkis's voice
Yeah.
before they even
Yep.
showed the face of the floor
Yep.
managers, like, did they get Andy Serkis to come do Star
Yeah.
Wars?
I literally did the same thing. I was like, holy shit.
He's like, 7 men per table, 7 tables per room, 7. And I was like, that's Andy fucking Serkis. And then they showed his face, and I was like, my hype level was already high, and then it like went way up. And then at the end of this episode, and he's Cassian's pressuring him again. How many guards per level? There's 12 guards per level. I was like, fuck yeah, he's into the rebellion now. Like,
Yeah, he says, yeah, he's like never more than 12. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
it's just.
Yeah, no. And I felt bad. I knew the old guy was not feeling good.
Yeah.
Dude was
Dude,
almost up with his sentence.
so I don't know if you've watched my review, but I literally said in my review, I went, this is the darkest I have ever seen Star Wars get since Revenge of the Sith, when, you know, Anakin chops Obi-Wan or Obi-Wan chops Anakin in half. Like, this is the darkest I have seen Star Wars, because it's not just that, but full on the explanation of the screams that they used for the torture device and where those screams came
Oh,
from.
yeah.
Dying people who were getting killed by genocide, and by sheer chance the Empire figures out that the death cries of that race cause mental trauma, especially the death cries of the children. And I went,
Children.
holy fuck, like, we have
Yeah.
just gotten into super dark territory with Star Wars. And then the whole sequence with the old man where it's like, we can't save him, like, he's gone. And that was the moment, you realize the floor manager's actually not such a bad guy, because he's like, the guy's only got 40 cycles left. Come on, you can make it. You could be a free man. And then and the dude's like, there's no point. We got to euthanize him. We're never getting out. And that's when the floor manager is like, oh, I'm not getting out. Oh,
Yep.
that changes everything,
Yep.
Dude,
12
episode,
guards per level.
yeah, 12 guards per level. Episode
Let's think
9 was
about
so good.
Yes. Yes. I'm finally on board with Andor, and which now makes me appreciate the first episodes more. So. But yeah, it just goes to show you how dark the Empire really is, and everything. And I also, not to be conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, see, this is why we can't allow these things in government.
No, that's total. I was saying that the other day. I was like, this is a political. If you watch it, it is a political show that's talking about real life politics, as well as, the Star Wars politics, because it's talking about the dangers of.
Because I just And I have a big problem, all in the name of safety, right? And that's what the Empire is all about. Just like we're doing this for your safety. Are you? Are you really?
Yep.
And that's why you shouldn't get the COVID-19 shot, everybody. It's not for your safety. They're trying to gain control. Sorry, I got my tinfoil hat on right now.
So here's one thing I will say. I'm not huge into the conspiracy theory stuff, and I'm also not saying that I have fallen hook, line, and sinker for the particular individual that I'm about to name. But I will say that the more I watch Andrew Tate, the more sense a lot of the stuff he says makes. Not the misogynist shit, which makes me laugh. Like, bitch, get me a coffee. Like, that kind of stuff. It's over the top, and I wonder how much of that is just he's doing it for social media.
Mhm.
But there is when he talks about how his brother and him just, went from, they were like, well, fuck it, we'll just start taking private jets everywhere. And the moment they started taking private jets, COVID doesn't exist. Like,
Yep.
COVID literally stopped existing for them once they started using private airplanes and going around the world on private jets because there are no restrictions. There's no mask mandates when you're wealthy. There's only mask
Yep.
mandates if you're poor.
Yep.
And there are some people we know who for reasons that are personal, and that's okay to have those reasons. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, everyone has everyone has the right to choose, and that's the most important thing that we all have is the freedom to choose. However, certain individuals that we know have made the choice to not get the COVID vaccination, and they have been told that they can't go home and visit family because their family's in another country. Because that country
Yep.
says if you don't have the COVID vaccination, you are not allowed to enter our country.
Yep.
And that right there, without being a conspiracy theorist at all, does point to
Yes.
that whole, hey, we're doing it for your safety, and
Yep.
and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but
It's easy. It's really easy in today's world to be a conspiracy theorist because I never really used to be, but anymore I'm like, and somebody said something funny on TikTok. They're like, it's not a conspiracy theory if it comes true or something like that, you know?
yeah,
They're not theories anymore. They're
correct. It's fact.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we've
don't
gotten all
know.
the ones we're gonna get here.
I finally got all my trapped prey.
All right. Well, I'm gonna run around here because we've exhausted. I got one over here.
Now I have. That was yeah. That was one of my rants. We do highs and lows in Sunday school, and my low was the BS that we're forced to accept. You know, just everything that we're told. You know, and I don't watch the news, but you know, I stay up, you know, as up to date as I can without watching the news. But
Was it you who was telling me about the schools in Texas
yeah,
that are no longer allowed to talk about slavery? They're calling it like some sort of type of immigration,
yeah,
like
integrated immigration. Or something
integrated
like that.
immigration. Like,
I think that's what
what
they're
the
calling it.
fuck are you on about? That's like
Well,
Holocaust
and
deniers.
well, and that's like there's people. I think I sent you that TikTok. They're like, what was the Holocaust? And these people don't know what it is. Like, nobody teaches about that stuff, you know. And it's the easiest way, the easiest way to repeat something like that is to not teach about it. And
Yeah.
it doesn't really take that long, you know, when you think about it. If you're gonna stay in power, so these people, and especially in America, you know, these guys have been politicians since they're 20 and they're 70 years old. Well, they're talking to a whole new generation of voters who don't know anything because they haven't been taught these things that are ran by the federal government, like the in the teachers union, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really easy for them. This
Indoctrinate.
whole, yeah, exactly, and it's
I hate to say because I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I am starting. The older I get, it's like, you know what? I've never been fully. I don't think that governments are inherently evil. I don't. I think
Well,
that
you
systems
have
can
to have a
become
government.
corrupted. Yes, you have. That's why I said you have to have some sort of system.
Have to.
Because if we went back to tribalism, we've already seen in MMORPGs what happens when tribalism
Yep.
starts to run the show. Like, this isn't the game for you. Get back to Warcraft, you fucking noob. Like,
Yep.
if we go back to tribalism, it's literally going to be people killing each other
Everybody's.
over
Yep.
resources.
Yep.
And we're,
Let's just okay. And I don't. Whatever. But if we look at, uh, I don't know what you're allowed to say nowadays, but back in the day, when there was different tribes, and tribalism, that's all they did. You had this group here, you had this group there, you had this group there, and they fought.
and they
That
enslaved
was
each
the,
other. It was just fact.
yes,
Like,
yes, it's what, and I mean that's human nature. And so, okay, here's a good example. If you didn't have speed limits, everybody would drive as fast as they wanted, right? And you would have people that would be like, okay, it's not safe for me to drive X amount of speed, so I'm gonna go slow. But you're gonna have 90% of people just driving like crazy, get off the road rage. That's what would happen.
yeah. I mean, laws are necessary for a reason.
Yes.
By the way, the chill nymphs we don't want to kill. We got to use this thing on them.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I don't know if you got credit when I did mine.
I did.
Okay, perfect. All right, I got my prey finally.
Awesome.
Recharging.
So, and I'm sure you've seen it, but Andrew Tate, he was talking to some friend or something or cousin or whatever, and he was like, if we're gonna go play basketball, and you could cheat, would you?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, so
Would you cheat for
what?
$10,000? And he was like, hell yeah,
Yeah,
I'd cheat for $10,000. And he's like,
yeah,
so you think that they're not going to cheat to remain in control
yep. I can't do it to this one for
because
whatever
you're in
reason.
combat.
Oh,
You got to do it when you're out of combat. You can't get too close to them. So like this one we should be able to do.
Too far away.
oh,
Oh, invalid target. Why can't I do it to that one?
yeah. See, I can't do it to that one either.
Huh. As I say, I don't want to be an Andrew Tate fanboy, but
And he's not the only. He's not the
no,
only
there's
one.
many.
But
It's
he's the most entertaining.
yes, because a lot of people, it's the Jordan Peterson thing, and
Yeah,
and
which
and
I like him a lot.
I do I like about 80% of what he says. Some of what he says is a little, but he has some good points about the government. The whole reason that he got popular is because he was told that he had to start using pronouns in his classes. And he
Yep.
said, fuck you. That's
Yep.
regulating my freedom of speech. It's not that I don't want to use these people's pronouns. It has nothing to do with me not using their
Right.
pronouns. It has to
Yeah.
do with you're telling me that I'm required to use their pronouns, whether I want to or not. That's the federal mandate. And he has the
Yep.
same thing about, the smart car, like the, electric cars, like, which I think Andrew Tate has even talked about the electric car thing too. Like they're trying to force electric cars down our throat for safety, environmental reasons, right? And I do agree that environmental impact is important and we should be conscious about it, but federally mandating it is the issue because he says the
Yes.
moment they start federally mandating it, they're going to put a governor in your car and they're going to say, "Oh, you're going too fast. We're going to shut your car off. Oh, you didn't do
And they
this." Yeah, and they will.
Don't tell me they won't do it. They already. Do you know why backup cameras are on cars?
Backup, like reverse cameras,
Yeah.
like
Do
to
you
go
know
into
so-
reverse.
Yep. So
Okay.
it's because a guy ran over his child when he was backing up, and he sued the manufacturer of the car company for not putting cameras in. And it was like 4 or 5 years later after that lawsuit, that's when every vehicle came out has a backup camera now.
Hmm.
So, and it's all in the name of safety, right? So now, if they can do that, yeah, they'll definitely put shutoffs in, and they already have talked about like how easy it would be for law enforcement if they just had a switch they could flick to shut somebody's car off if they're speeding, and it would cut down on, high speed chases. So
And by the way, for the
Yeah, they
YouTube
won't.
algorithm, we're not saying that we're in favor of any of this. We're just talking about, just so that I don't get dinged on my channel.
Yeah, for real.
We're just discussing.
We're on the watch list now.
Yeah, I
It's
probably
too
am on
late.
the watch list. It's too late.
You said Andrew Tate, man. You are on the
I
watch
said
list.
Andrew Tate and I said Jordan Peterson, and now I'm on like the incel watch
I
list.
I would never kill myself under any circumstances. I love how he says that all the time because he's like, dude, they're gonna kill me.
He says they're coming
He
for
said
me.
Yep, they're gonna kill me. It's crazy.
I have all my feathers now, so I'll just follow you. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's that's what I said. I've never been a conspiracy theorist, but as I've gotten older, and especially in the times we live in, like I have no problem, and we've talked about this. I've talked about this many times. I had no problem because I got sick, really sick, and multiple
Right.
times I've gotten sick, so I have no problems getting vaccines.
Oh, yeah, me
Because
neither.
I get sick and I understand science. I'm not afraid of science. I'm not fearful of science because I understand it. Those spores are creepy looking. Why are
Well,
you
and I
leading me
don't.
into dangerous territory, sir?
I want the feathers. I don't think that normal people who don't want to get the vaccination don't. Most of them don't even disagree with vaccinations. They disagreed with how hard it got pushed and everything, and so it made them go, "Why are they pushing it so hard? What's actually in this?" That's what freaked everybody out.
Yeah.
Because
Because
there's lots of people that I know that didn't get it, who are fully vaccinated up to this point. They've got all their schools, they got everything, and then coronavirus vaccination hit, and they're like, nope.
because
I
it
was like, what
wasn't
the
our
heck?
sister one of those people who was like, nope, like
Yep.
kids have all their other shots, but nope, not this
Yep.
one.
My best friend is that way,
Oh,
And-
yeah.
and he's super smart and like sciencey, and like and he was like, nope. And I mean, he got really sick from COVID even.
Yeah, yeah. No, I will say this. I hesitate to think of how sick I would have gotten had I not been vaccinated because
Oh yeah, because I got sick with it.
it was
Oh,
the
shit.
worst. It was the sickest I had ever been in my life. I never have felt that bad. I had 4 days of 103, 104 fever, and I've never had that. And then that cough was like the worst thing in the world when it hit because I literally vomited from coughing so hard. It was just, ugh. Did you
Yeah,
finish with
man.
the feathers?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn into the stream's gonna get me all sorts of dings on YouTube probably.
The-
You talked about Andrew Tate. You talked about Jordan Peterson. You talked about the coronavirus.
Yeah. Flagged. I just don't get so our nation, America,
the
runs
great
off of
outdoors.
diesel fuel. I mean, you got trucks, you got trains, you got diesel pickups, and so I start to question when we get down to the level of diesel fuel that we have in our reserve, at our disposal. I start to question why did we allow that to happen? And the easiest way to control things is to control the supply line. Everyone knows this. And so it's really easy for me to fall into the conspiracy theory.
And the Tate said something very important the other day, which I have said for years, long before Andrew Tate was ever on the scene. There are economists, not economists. There are economists. Sorry, I need more coffee.
We're smart.
With my people. I guess I'm probably not supposed to make that kind of stuff either. Anyway, there are economists who have talked about this for years. Why does the U.S. not have high-speed rails?
Oh yeah, for real.
And this is something I remember talking about 10 years ago when I came back from Europe for having lived in Europe, and I went, everywhere I go in Europe, there are high-speed rail systems everywhere, connecting the entire European Union. There are high-speed rail networks everywhere. Not only that, but every city has a metro system, a tram system, and a train system. why do we not have these in the United States? Because I saw middle class, upper middle class, and even lower upper class people. Everyone's using public transportation. There's no fear of public transportation. There is no
Yep.
public transportation is for the poor people. I'm not going to do that. It's reliable, it's fast, it's clean, it's everywhere. There's no reason not to use the public transportation system. And then I came back to the United States, and that's when I decided to move to Cancun because I was looking at it going, how am I going to, why would I want to go back to spending like $4,000, $5,000 a month to live here when I could go somewhere else? Because I'm being told that I need to have a vehicle, I need to do this, I need to do that, and it's like suddenly I'm being asked to spend thousands of dollars a month. Why? To consume? Like, that's not me
Well,
being a conspiracy theorist. That's just,
no, but I mean, the capitalist economy does
Yes.
require spending of
Consumption.
money.
Yes.
Yes, you have to. That's the only way it works. So we are, of course, encouraged to do that. But, and that's why we don't have a train, or trams or anything, because we need people to buy cars. We need people to, but the bigger one is the oil companies, right? Like those
Lobbying.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. Just,
On that note, before we go any further, I need more coffee if we're gonna. Regardless if it's more conversations or more adventuring, I need more coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too.
hang on. What the hell? Apparently a cat jumped on my desk and I have this keyboard with the removable, and there are, like, somehow she got keys everywhere. Fuck. Hopefully she didn't step on anything else and break something. I can't. So there was so we're having problems with Sam. We gave them, hang on. We gave them a new type of parasite pill the other day.
Yeah.
Because the vet that we normally go to didn't have what we normally get, so she had to go to another vet, and the other vet said, well, I have these, use these anyway because it's better if you alternate so that they don't get.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god, she totally stepped on stuff because this guy has a raid target on him.
That's awesome.
So they got him 4 days ago, and it has provoked a reaction in 3 of the 5 kittens where they have been leaking assholes is the basically way to say it. Like
Yep.
they've had
Yep.
like leakage from their butts, like
Yep.
nasty, viscous, smelly. So that medicine gets in and it coats the intestines to kill all the parasites, and as a result, it messes with the stomach flora and everything, intestinal flora. So 3 of them have had viscous liquid, and they're having like just constant going to the bathroom. One of them, however, Sam, is having uncontrollable leakage. Like he'll be walking around and you'll just hear, and then there's a pile of
Aw, poor
viscous
kitty.
white fluid. And then he was sleeping yesterday. Chris might maybe take him to the vet today. He seems to be feeling better this morning because he's out, he's eating, drinking water, and everything else. Like yesterday, all he did yesterday was sleep all day, and he literally shat himself while he was sleeping. Like he rolled over, and I noticed that he was just covered in that white viscous material. He'd been sitting there, and it was just oozing out of his butt the whole time. I'm like, that's not normal. Like, I'm never gonna give these cats this particular brand of medicine ever again. So I just walked out to fill my coffee, and there was a big viscous accident on the floor in front of the bathroom. So I had to clean that up, and while I was cleaning it up, Pippin got in here with her, and I had to put the collar back on her because she's been like collar free for 4 days, and she decided that she was feeling good. She disappeared into the forest for like 6 hours yesterday. Came home, and her scar, where the stitches got out like last Sunday, like a week ago, her stitches, that area was all like looked like a blood blister, and was like, oh, we're putting your collar back on. So I put the collar back on, put medicine on. It looks better today. Like it looks like normal scar tissue with like a black edge around it, like blood underneath the thing. But because she has the cone on, she can't control herself, and apparently she jumped on the desk while I was out, and there's keys everywhere. Anyway, that's the.
Well, because I thought you were back because your RAM was like raring, like you were pressing the space bar. So now I know why. What a
Yeah, that
noob
was kitty
down there in
cat.
the water.
Where are we going? We've got. Is there stuff in the cave? I think there actually is something
Yeah,
we need to kill in here.
Yeah, I think we gotta go mine stuff. I think runestone giant corpses. Maybe they're not down here. I don't know what's down.
Well, we need to kill the Shatterhorn, that's for sure.
I can't attack that.
This guy? Yeah. How do we wake his ass up?
What quest is this?
I don't remember. I just read so many of them.
Want you to defeat Shatterhorn. We tried yelling at him and smoking him out, but nothing worked. Maybe you could rouse him first with a meal of meat from the Frosthorn rams. Okay, hold on. Do I actually have ram meat?
Oh, that's the problem.
I don't think we've killed any of the rams yet. Alright, well.
I was thinking it was this one, the one that got away, but that's not.
So we have to go up there to get the rams. Maybe can we get up here? No, we're not going to be able to get up there from there. This is like the Stormwind music. Here's a ram. Die, goat. And I will also say that my YouTube channel, I wonder if that meat is enough. I just got one. Let's go try it real quick. My YouTube channel has gotten. I had to make a video the other day because it was getting ridiculous the amount of just stupidity I was seeing in some of my comments from like just racist bigots and just ridiculous levels of hatred towards it's just all sorts of craziness. Anyway,
Cool.
so I made a post like, oh, we have to get 4 of these. Fuck. All right, let me put this on free for all. I need 3 more meats. You gotta combine 4 to get 1 to then wake him with it.
Oh.
So all these people who come into the comments and they're like, Disney ruined Star Wars, right? That's the favorite one. Disney ruined Star Wars,
Well,
and
they didn't help the trilogies any.
no, but here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I've told you this before, but somebody made a statement the other day, which I kind of agree with, which is that there's a ram right here. All Star Wars is good Star Wars. It's just that some Star Wars is better than other Star Wars. And I said that's a very fair assessment of it, because I don't love the Disney trilogy. I also don't hate the Disney trilogy. I realize that they are flawed, but that's because they weren't made with George Lucas's creative spirit. They were made with a commercial, how can we make money off of these and turn these into an intellectual property that's going to remake the $4 billion that we spent to buy it, right? It's essentially, it's the same approach they're taking with Rings of Power, which is, sorry, are you trying to trade me something? All right, let me see if I can
Oh,
combine these.
I can't.
Oh, not
give that
those,
to you.
yeah.
It's a quest item.
But it's essentially the same approach they're taking with Rings of Power, which is we got to exploit this intellectual property in every way possible to make the money back that we spent. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with exploiting, and that's not a bad word in the sense that it's being used here. There's nothing wrong with taking an intellectual property that you have the rights to and making as much money from that as you can. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I would say that you should be conscious about, I'm combining this into the meat, by the way. You should be conscious about staying true to the source material. And that's that's the issue where a lot of people have, is that Rings of Power didn't stick true to the source material, and a lot of people will look at the Disney trilogy of Star Wars movies and say that's what they didn't do. They didn't stick true to George Lucas's source material, which may be true. Even I, with all the fun that I poke at Rings of Power, recognize that it has its moments, and at the end of the day, all Middle Earth is good Middle Earth. It's just that some Middle Earth is better than other Middle Earth. And at the very end of the day, it will bring more fans to the franchise, and that's never a bad thing. But I'm getting really tired of the people who come on and make the comments about how Disney has an agenda to make all your kids be other than heterosexual, like. And that's how they're doing it, is they're doing it through Disney Plus shows and having a black, this is my favorite, of having a black Jedi who was more powerful than Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was the most powerful Jedi in the history of the Jedi Order, and in no way, shape, or form would Obi-Wan Kenobi have ever been weaker than a Sith, especially a Sith, you know, woman. And I was just like, oh my god, where do you people come from? Like
Yeah. Well, there's more conspiracy theories, but like,
yes.
I mean, they're easy to. I mean, I can see the points. I can,
Yeah.
because the easiest way to. I think we learn our values and stuff from age 9 to 19, or 9 to 13.
Yeah,
Excuse
so
me.
you're,
Like that. That's where
yeah.
you're in your development stage of everything. So, who's watching Disney Plus shows? 9 to 13, probably the most, right?
You are too young to know of this individual probably, but there's a guy from the 70s and 80s. Actually, I think he might have died in the early 80s. I forget, but his name is Terrence McKenna, and he was a psychedelic doctor who did a lot of, discussions and speeches and other stuff over the years. And by the way, what is this? This is charm on. There's some sort of flying creature we can see somewhere over here. There he is right there. I'm gonna chase him down. He had a very good speech called. Oh shit! It put me on him.
Really?
What am I doing with this?
I don't know. It's too far away.
What am I doing here? Or maybe that's what I'm doing is I'm learning his secret here. Oh, did you get credit for that?
No, he's too far away. I was trying to get up there. But
Okay. Well,
where'd he go?
he's about to kick me, I think, here in a minute. We'll see. Yeah, he just kicked me. He just kicked me. So you can do it now. When he comes back around, you'll be able to. There's a charm thing you can click
there
on
he
here.
is.
Do it. Do it.
You need to be.
I got him from right here,
Okay.
so I'd say
I
when
got it. Yep.
Okay, all right. Anyway, he has a brilliant talk called "Culture is Your Operating System," and it's really he gives a speech about how, and I tried to have this conversation with Dad, and he flipped his shit on me. Culture and religion are taught from birth,
Yep.
based upon where you are born in the world.
Sure.
So your culture and your religion are your operating system that you were born with. It's the natural. It's you're operating on Windows because that's your device. He's like, you can choose as you get older to reformat your hard drive and put another operating system on your hard drive, but that's a conscious choice that has to be made as an adult because from childbirth, all of us are told this is the way things are. This is your culture. This is your religion. It's better than all other cultures. It's better than all other religions. This is yours. It's kind of like the the rifle speech in Full Metal Jacket. This is my
Yeah, Full Metal
rifle.
Jacket.
It's the best rifle in the world.
There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Right. It's that level of. Whee! Guess we're going into the lake for this one.
Oh shit! I missed the lake. Ouch.
Frostfin. Wonder if we have to get bait. Anyway, I forget why I brought this up about the culture thing. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Disney indoctrinating.
Oh
children,
yeah. So there is some core truth to that, but usually it's on the federal level. And someone said the other day, it's like, what are we supposed to do here?
I baited him, so let's see.
Oh, you're
there
good.
he is.
Why can't I attack this? There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna get in all sorts of trouble for this stream. Go back and turn that one in too. But it's I don't think there's any conspiracy, but I think there is a certain change in values, but this is no different than if you go back in time, which you're familiar with this because you're a student of history like I am. If you go back to the segregation laws of 50 years ago, it was law that black people couldn't drink from water fountains, public water fountains. They couldn't go to public pools. They couldn't use the restrooms.
This is something I just learned quite recently. Do you know why universities cost so much? Why they have so back in the day, university was almost free, and here. Do you know why they started originally?
It has something to do with segregation, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was so that they could keep out the less fortunate, the poor people, because they didn't want a certain class of individual. And who was that class of individual as a majority back then? Well, it was they couldn't say we don't want black people to come to school, so they just made a law about, okay, well now we're going to charge, and no one will be able to afford it. So it's so interesting.
Well,
so interesting.
the point I was going to make about all of that is if you go
Sorry.
back no, but this is a good, that's part of the conversation. If you go back 40 years, 50 years,
Isn't that long ago?
it's one generation, maybe two.
Yep.
It's 2 generations back. You're going to find that the same conversations that we are having today
Yep.
were being had back then, but they were being had by the same group of people who were, guess what? The racist. This motherfucker is going to go around and try to grab every fucking mob. What a dick. Whatever.
Well, he's level 80.
I don't have a target.
Anyway, the same people who are having the same people. So if you go back 50 years, the people who were saying, "Oh, they're trying to let black people drink from water fountains. That's not cool," are the same people who are now saying, "They're trying to have black Jedi. That's not cool." Like it's the same.
Well,
Oh,
and here's what's it.
hold up. We're supposed to
here's-
use a thing on the spores. My bad. We're not supposed to kill them.
And guess who was in power during all of that? A lot of the same people that are still in power because
Correct.
they don't
Yes.
have fucking age limits, and so you have all these old people. Yeah.
Don't kill those, by the way.
That-
We're supposed to. And
yeah.
this motherfucker tapped them all. Fuck you, level 80 purple man. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my, there's more than one. We may want to go somewhere else because apparently all. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's ignore this quest line for now. There's multiple level 80s here doing it all. We got quests on the other side. So, and this isn't conspiracy theory. This is just fact. It's history, the cyclical nature of history, which we know about. But the same people who are bigoted and angry and are typically the same ones who were ranting 50 years ago, and now their kids are the ones ranting today about how everything's an agenda and they're trying to make us accept transgender, black, homosexual people. It's like you're saying the same things that were said 50 years ago. They're trying to make us accept black people in the swimming pools, and that's just not right. They're trying to make us convert. And, oh my God, they're allowing colored mixed interrelational marriages, and that's just not good. And it's the same conversations, only now we've replaced black people with transgender, gay.
It's essentially tribalism, but
Yeah, it's the tribalism. Yes.
so what's interesting? I'm not sure what's interesting about it, but Faith's grandpa, who passed away, he was a super cool dude. I really respected him. He was like 93 when he passed, I think. He had every stit in his heart that he could get. The dude was abandoned by his parents at 11 years old, and he became one of the biggest ranchers in Colorado. So huge success story, right? As racist as they come, right? Because that's the era he grew up in.
Yes.
And he liked football, but football pissed him off, and so he would watch football and just yell about how there was just all these black people, and that's all it was about. And it was quite comical, but kind of sad at the same time, you know. I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't know. Just an interesting point, I guess.
I can't attack that.
We got a book from that. Where did it go? Or maybe you got a book from it. Literal receives Book of Runes Chapter 1, Book of Runes Chapter 2.
Yep.
I got Book of Runes Chapter 3. Where did it go in my inventory?
Combine the books, so I'm supposed to combine, so I gotta get all the books.
Yeah, and I don't see where it went in my inventory.
Mine's highlighted, like yellow circle. It looks like a scroll.
Aha! That would be why. Thank you. I was looking for a book. I just need the first one, so we're gonna go over here and kill these guys over here.
How the hell do you have more than just one? Oh, I have.
You have all
more than one,
3.
too. I do.
I think you have all 3. Or
I
no,
have
you
2
have
of
you have 1 and 3. You have 1 and 2.
There,
If you
now I
right
have
click on okay, yeah. If you right click on it, it'll tell you which ones you have.
I don't know.
I'll wait till you get over here because there's another one that we gotta kill over here apparently. But anyway, the interesting thing is like it's the same conversations that were being had 50 years ago about, oh my God, they want us to let those people drink from the water fountain, and they're trying to convert us to let those people in. And the football guy, it's like, oh my God, it's just full of these people playing football and
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of a difference between
a little.
the gender thing and whatnot, but it's essentially the same. I mean, I don't know. I don't care, if you do you, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're not trying to, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is what I'm saying. But, yeah, whatever. I find it interesting that before the fall of every nation that has fallen, there has been some sort of I don't know the right terminology for it.
Social revolution.
Ah, no, but like gender, it's not an issue, but like I don't want to say confusion either. I don't know what the word, I can't remember what the word is, but I guess even before like the fall of the Roman Empire, I believe that was like a thing. And so I find it interesting that that's where we're at, is we have a lot of that. And I'm trying to say that as delicately as I can, but it's not coming out very good.
I got all my books for the rune, by the way.
What the hell? I don't. I need chapter 3.
We'll come up here. There's more dudes up here that we need. We need the stone callers in particular.
Yeah. There's one right there. History usually repeats itself, and if you don't read history, you don't know that it's happened before.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier with the school system not allowing slavery to be taught, and they're trying to tell people that it's some sort of migration. I was like, what?
Well, it's because we brought them here, so we migrated them. Yeah. And we enslaved them. And that's okay. And here's what my point is: it's not okay, but it's okay to talk about it because it actually happened. And if we don't talk about it, that's worse than not talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, Josh asked a question the other day, and I don't remember what he asked. And I was like, well, here's something you're never going to hear in school. And I explained it. And he was like, oh, okay. And I don't remember what it was now. Oh, it was about Columbus Day. That's what it was.
Whoa, that's a fun one. That's a fun one.
Because, well, he's like, why do we get Columbus Day off? So I explained why I think we get Columbus Day off, and then I also went to explain how Columbus wasn't actually the first one to, discover America, but that's the one we give credit to, and the reason that people dislike it is X, Y, Z, and whatnot. He really wasn't a great person in the time. He would maybe a great person, but see, even the Spanish government didn't like, a lot of the things that he was doing, so probably wasn't even that great of a guy in those times.
Right, but the interesting thing is that because he was an expedition leader, you know what I mean? He became this. It's kind of like, man, I don't know if we have a modern equivalent. So I don't pay enough attention to like military stuff, but we have military generals who are like big names and they go on C-SPAN and they're on television
Yeah.
and people know who they are. People who pay attention to that kind of stuff will know who these people are, right? So if you could imagine like a known general becoming like the spokesperson for the government to go over to a country and be at the forefront of a colonization effort, which I don't think would ever happen in the modern era. But let's say that if you could imagine that happening, that person becoming the spokesperson for
Yep.
the government and the people back home are only ever hearing about the amazing things that we are seeing and getting from that country, right? Did you get the credit for that analyzation with the corpse?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if that were to happen in the modern era, oh my God, we got attacked by something. That's the easiest equivalent I could give. But the reality would be that, oh, he killed my pet. The reality is more like, yes, he's over there doing things, but he's doing things like waterboarding and all this other stuff that's horrific atrocities, that no one back home ever hears about, let alone really cares about, because it's all in the name of yay Spain, as an example.
Yes.
Yay England, yay whatever.
Yes.
And at the time it doesn't seem bad, right? But then you flash forward 300 years and you're looking at it through the scope of, 300 years ago it was okay to own people, right?
Right.
And so if you look at it through the scope of modernity, we look back on those things and go, oh my God, those were human rights atrocities, and oh my God, we should not teach that in school. We should not be celebrating this person and everything else. Those are hard pills for some people to swallow, but it's just historical fact. I mean, whether we...
Well, I think that's my point. Is I think we can still celebrate it because it has become a national holiday. But we gotta teach the whole story. Like, here's why we celebrate it, and it's kind of messed up why we celebrate it all at the same time. Because then that led us to the discussion about Thanksgiving. Which that's a fun topic too. Like, why do we have Thanksgiving? Okay, well, American nationalism. So we'll talk about that. He's getting to the age where he's asking questions. So, and unfortunately, I try not to be an uneducated parent who just answer out of my ass.
Right. How do I click on the corpse? There we go. Don't die, Swiftwind. I totally think my cat screwed up one of my tilde keys, because my tilde key is not... It's not initiating combat like it's supposed to.
Well, I hope your YouTube channel keeps growing and doing good, because you need to save up for a new computer, man.
Yep, it's one of many things I need. Someone was telling me that he's like, you need a boom mic, and you need all this stuff, and you need to get a proper green screen set up, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, all that's gonna cost like 10 grand. It's not happening anytime soon, gents.
Hey, pull this stone giant.
I didn't see it. I was running around looking for one. Does this one count, I wonder?
Yeah, looks just like the rest of them. Yeah, but I mean, the computer would be like the main. I kind of need a new computer. I'm starting to notice mine.
Yeah, you sent me that video that your graphics card's like...
Here's the thing, like, just to upgrade mine, I could buy a whole new laptop cheaper than what it would cost me to upgrade.
Yes.
And so, at that point, I might as well buy a laptop, because then when I go on...
These don't count, by the way.
Why don't they count?
Because they're not the ancient...
What the fuck?
It
says Rune Stone Giant. Whatever.
But that wasn't a ruined one. That was just a normal one.
Oh.
There's one. He looks like a... Yeah, here.
Yeah.
But let me pull it with a trap, though, because they do way too much damage, and they will wipe my pet. Oh shit, we got fucking ads. Oh, we got lots of ads.
Maduros, where are you?
Hang on. Don't die. Don't die. Heal yourself if you can. I can't.
Try.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, this is not
Can't
good.
go down.
Oh man, this is not good. Swiftwind, save me! I even popped misdirection and it was not enough to get you. Well, I'll wait till you get here so that you don't lose credit for that.
Okay. Oh,
I'll actually
I'm
avoid
way over
looting
here.
that.
I've said for years, back to the conspiracy theory stuff though, like I've said for years that the 9 to 5 job guy is the one that gets screwed. Like our system was set up to screw that guy. And if you think back to, I think I've talked to you about that before. It started with the Industrial Revolution. So that is when we started the 9 to 5 type thing, right? 5 days a week, you get the weekends off, and then that's
What's
where our
up, what's
school
up,
system
Remy and
gets developed
Goosenna? Sorry
upon
guys, I totally
because
didn't see chat
we
until
want
just
to
now. For some
create
odd reason,
more
it didn't
factory
show up on my
workers
chat
that
window.
are used to this 9 to 5 thing, right? Because realistically, there's no anything that says it's good for kids to go to school 8 hours every day
Correct.
that I have found, but we do it anyways. And yeah, that's just my rant. Continuing.
Well, not just
So,
that, but there's if you go back to like the days of Aristotle and Plato and everybody, it was always mentorships. Like you became an
yes,
apprentice
yes,
and you went and mentored with someone, and that's how you learned whatever it is that you were going to learn in life. You did it through a mentorship. And now we went from mentorships to you've got to go to school for 8 hours a day to teach you how to be a worker bee at a factory job for 8 hours a day, and all of this ties into, man, the biggest one, which you and I have talked about. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the air, but the biggest one that gets me is the housing, like the quote unquote American dream. Like you have to get a
Yep.
house, so you have to get a
Yep.
mortgage. And what do you do as soon as you get a, like the whole idea? Again, the people whose names we probably shouldn't mention, but I'll mention them anyway. But the Tate guy as an example. But other people have talked about it for years. I wrote a book when our brother committed suicide. I wrote a book that talked about these things. I did, and it was that was however many years ago now. And one of the things you can look at is
Recharging.
the hang on, I'm getting sidetracked here. Don't die. So, you cannot, if you are a 17-year-old kid and you want to get a $50,000 business
Right.
loan, you will be
Yep.
laughed out of the bank. It does not matter how good your business plan is. They will say, nope, you're too young. You don't have enough of a credit score. You've not built up enough of a reputation for yourself. You don't have any work experience, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to give you the money for a business loan. But
Yep.
you can turn around and get a school loan for $75,000. And guess what? A business loan is dismissible in bankruptcy court. A school loan is not dismissible in bankruptcy court. So if you can fuck up in business, you can be a Donald Trump and fuck shit up and claim bankruptcy multiple times as a business, file for Chapter 11 over and over and over, no problems, that can get dismissed, dissolved, so many ways that can be taken care of. But a school loan is an unforgivable debt that you must bear until you die. And if that isn't, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but if that isn't proof of some,
Well,
like it's
part
so
of that,
fucked up.
part of that is because it's a subsidized loan, right?
Yes.
So we the people back the loan, so we
Yes.
can't have it to where it's not paid back.
Correct.
Whereas a business loan is through the private bank, blah 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 blah. So part of that is how it's structured. But the fact that we allow it to be that way is kind of messed up anyways, because tell me that's not it's very
Great to
They
meet
have
you.
talked for the first one that talked about it. It's very
Safe
predatorial.
travels.
Yeah.
Like every kid is told, "Oh, just get a student loan."
Not just that, but
So-
get a credit card. Like,
Right. Right. Oh yeah, the credit card. They're. I'd say federal student loans are worse than credit cards.
they are, but it's the same. Yeah.
As far as being, because they tell you it's not bad, right? Oh, you're getting an education. Everybody knows credit cards are bad, right? But nobody talks about student loans being bad because you're getting an education and you're, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not to be
System.
conspiracy theorists, but
System, man.
it's the system, man.
I'm blown away. So like, when you become a homeowner, your credit goes through the roof.
Yeah, you want to know what's fucked up? Like when I go do my credit report, every time I log into Capital One to go pay my credit card every month, pay off because I do use that card on a month-to-month basis for like $75 worth of shit, and so I pay it off every month. So my credit is maxed as far as I can take it, and I have no problem saying this on air. I have like an 811, something like that. I think it's like 811 to 807. It kind of depends on the. It dropped recently because they shut down one of my lines of credit because I hadn't used that credit card for like 7 years, and I had a $7,500 card, and it dropped my score by like 4 points. But the fucked up thing is like the credit report that they offer you through Capital One literally tells you, like, if you ask the system, how can I get my credit score better, like how can I get to 850 from 811, it literally tells you need to get a mortgage. And it's like, why the fuck would I go out and put myself $300, $400, $500,000 in debt? Like, this system is
that's part of the system. They want you to get a mortgage.
Yes.
And it's fascinating, man. It's fascinating. Yeah.
I will also say this. I have no problem saying it because a lot of people, don't know my history and everything else. So I had congestive lung failure when I was 22, and because my.
No, you didn't. You were just a little bitch.
Yeah, according to my boss, I was just a little bitch. So my boss did not have health insurance on me, and I had to pay for that out of pocket. It was a like $16,000 overnight stay back in like 2002 at the hospital, and then I had about $50,000 in bills for medical bills.
For you kids nowadays, that's about $125,000.
It was about $125,000 worth of medical debt, and I had to claim bankruptcy when I was 23 years old because I just couldn't. There's a box here we need to click. And so I had to go to bankruptcy, and as a 23-year-old white male, I lost everything. I lost my apartment, I lost my Jeep, got repoed, and I was not a bad person. I was not a drug addict. I was not a bad person. I had a full-time job. I was working 80 hours a week. I was getting paid $25 an hour, which back in 2002 was like making $50 an hour. I was getting a good wage. It's just my boss didn't have health insurance on me, and anyway, I had to go to bankruptcy court because of medical bills, and that ruined me because I lost everything. I literally became, in the eyes of the system, I was now a high. So here's my favorite. I have two favorite stories from that. One was I was getting out of it, and I had a new vehicle, and I needed to get that vehicle insured. So I called the insurance company, and they quoted me over the phone what the insurance rate was going to be, and I was like, sweet. And it was something like, I don't remember, like
What's on your mind?
$150 a month or something for full coverage insurance on my vehicle. And I was like, cool, let's get that policy going, right? So I get a phone call back.
What the hell?
Oh, he may be talking about something, so you might have to just wait for him to finish.
I didn't have a turn in. What quest did you finish?
Oh, that box. Did you not loot the box?
It said you looted it.
And you didn't get the update?
I got credit for it. Yeah, questy, carving tools. Oh, I bet I just had to wait for it. Yeah.
Oh, so we gotta go back. All right. Anyway, well,
Sorry.
I'll follow you while we're doing this. So they quoted me like $150 over the phone. I said, do it. I get a phone call back 3 hours later, and the lady on the phone is really apologetic, and she's like, unfortunately, that price that I quoted you over the phone is not going to be the price that your insurance is. We ran your credit, and unfortunately, because of your credit score, the company views you as a high-risk individual, and your insurance rate is going to be $375 a month. So I was literally told a price, $150 over the phone, and then when she called back later, it was more than double the price because my credit score had tanked, and I had gone bankrupt, and so I was considered a high-risk individual. And I literally had this conversation with her over the phone, which she probably didn't want to hear it, but whatever. I was like, how am I expected to get my credit back on track when I'm being told that because my credit is bad, I have to pay this unimaginable fee that I would never be able to pay because it's just ridiculously high? That seems like an unfair system that's rigged against me. And I was like, furthermore, I'm not a bad person. I didn't willfully choose not to pay my bills. I couldn't because of crippling medical debt that was because of a health issue that I had. And that was my first inkling into the system. But the second was the one when I had the breakdown, because when I went to work for John, and this was several years later, I had been slowly building my credit back up. I had a couple of $250 credit cards and, used those to buy materials for work and groceries and stuff. And I had slowly been building my credit score up, but the bankruptcy was still on my record at that point because it was like 4 years later or something. And I had a $6,000 check in my hand to be cashed. $6,000 check. And I didn't want to cash it. I wanted to start a bank account. I wanted to open up because I didn't have because the banks had closed all my accounts because of the bankruptcy and everything else. So I had a $6,000 check in hand, and I wanted to open up a bank account in Colorado. And I went to every bank in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and got told over and over and over, we can't open a bank account for you because you have a bankruptcy on your record. We literally cannot open a bank account for you. We just can't. The system will not let us open bank accounts for people that have bankruptcy. And I finally got to the point where I broke down in tears in front of the branch person working at Wells Fargo. That's why I have a Wells Fargo account to this day. That's why I have Wells Fargo, even though they're not the best bank in the world. But I have a Wells Fargo account because the Wells Fargo lady took pity on me. The branch manager said, well, screw the system. I'm going to help you out today, sir. And I was like, oh my God, you're the best person in the world. But the federal system literally said, you as an and this is different than business bankruptcy. This was a personal bankruptcy. So because I had claimed bankruptcy because of health issues. And that's what made me realize how rigged the system is against people because of the credit score. And that's when I vowed that I was never going to let my life be dominated by credit.
Credit is a trap, because the only way to have good credit is to have debt. And now there's some rich people that'll tell you, oh, you got to use debt. And I'm starting to watch some of them, and their points are very interesting, because how is money created? Well, money's created through debt. Mm-hmm. That's how they create money, and that's how they get it into the system. That's why, and people want to go, oh, car loans are at 0% interest and blah, 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 blah. That's how they create money, is by debt. So if you make it super easy for people to get debt, you're creating more money. So, where was I going with that? Oh, and debt is tax-free. So if I want to get $3 million, if I have assets that I can borrow against and get $3 million, I have $3 million at my disposal that I don't have to pay taxes on, because I just created money, right? But credit score is it's used to prey upon the people, the 9-to-5 guy, right? The guy that wants to go get a Harley, or the guy that it's so interesting.
Yeah, because you'll notice that rich people don't rely upon the credit system. They have an asset that they borrow against. And that's the major difference that a lot of people fail to understand, is that this is how the rich... there's a conversation that was had the other day, the rich get rich. The rich keep getting richer, right? And it's because of the way the system is set up. By the way, don't pull that. I think we're supposed to get something from that. Requires a broken tablet. These guys have a drop that we need. Okay, but I need to... Don't pull it because I need to refresh my health. Everything we do helps the rich get richer. Like, who does, you and your buddies save up to get a house, right? You buy it in a nice suburban area and everything else. But who gets richer by you buying the house? The banks get richer, and rich people own the banks. And then when you buy at a certain store, that's... And I was fascinated by those. Yeah.
You have to understand how it works.
Yes.
And once you understand how it works, it all makes sense, and then you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, the individual we were talking about earlier, whose name I can't keep mentioning because I'll get flagged with the algorithm, has made some very good points about if you really start studying money, you will find... just click this here.
Click it?
There's a thing in your inventory, or it'll be, oh shit.
Oh, dude.
Oh, this is like a vision. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
start educating yourself on money, you become to
Well,
realize what a system
I
is to.
I never knew, like, I knew they created money, but I never knew how they created money. And it's by creating debt, and it makes total sense, because how do you get the money in circulation? Well, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, debt. You know, this person needs 60,000, or excuse me, $115,000 to go buy a new pickup. Okay, we'll give them a loan. We just created $115,000 in the system,
Mm-hmm.
in the matrix. Like, I don't know if they knew how genius they were when they created that film.
I don't think, I think it was just an analogy for a lot of stuff, but it has become more relevant as we've gotten
It's a
older.
good analogy. The true conspiracy theories I can't get on board with, like the cloning of people, like they keep cloning uh, celebrities and that kind of stuff. I can't get on board with that.
No,
What can I do for you?
Like the
Elvis is still
systematic ones?
alive.
Yeah.
Be careful.
That might be a good point to wrap up.
All right, let's find the tavern over
Since,
here.
since we're right here.
Yep. It's not
Yeah,
gonna hurt
I
my
don't-
feelings.
I don't know. It's crazy the things I'm learning.
Yeah.
It's not hard to learn either. Like,
No, if you
it-
just take the time and are willing to
Yes.
educate. And most people aren't willing because they just want to come home, unplug, play a video game, watch a TV show, and
yeah,
that's it. It's like,
and
I'm too
forget
tired.
about it. Yeah.
We
Well,
talked about this the other
and
night, and we had a different
Yeah.
conversation about people are. You're always tired. Like everyone is always tired. Like you can either choose to be tired, lay on the couch, and be, and choose to be that, or you can say, screw it. Being tired is part of life. I'm gonna
Yep.
drink a coffee. I'm gonna sip a Red Bull. I'm gonna do 50 jumping jacks, get the blood pumping, and I'm gonna go do something productive that betters my life or makes me money or gets me ahead somehow. And you know, it's like this. People are
So
like, why are you only playing video games? It's like, well, video games are my business. Like, this is streaming, it's content, it's getting views, it's getting members, it's getting et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not a waste of time. It's a business. You know what I mean?
do you know why Faith and I got Farm Family of the Year? It's because we're in the community and everybody knows who we are. Like,
Right.
man, it's crazy. I can't go anywhere and somebody not go, "Oh, hey, Joey, how are you?" You know, and they know who I am. Why? They've read about me in the paper, which is crazy. I feel like a local Andrew Tate around here sometimes. It's really kind of funny. Like, yeah, bitches, everybody knows who I am. But it's because of my kids, is why. Because we put our kids in Cub Scouts, we put our kids in church, we put our kids in rodeo, we put our kids in 4-H, and everybody always asks, "How do you do all these things? Like, how do you have enough time?" Well, we make time, A, and B, it goes back to the being tired thing. Um, Faith and I are exhausted constantly. I mean, we work our butts off. She works online. She helps me on the ranch. She takes care of the kids. You know, we're having to drive Chloe and Josh to school
45 minutes every day. Yeah.
every day because Chloe can't rent the bus. We don't have to put her in preschool, but we choose to put her in preschool. Why? Because it's better for her development. Um, it's a conscious choice. You being tired doesn't excuse the fact that, if you want to make exceptional people, you have to do exceptional things. And so we're trying to involve our kids in a healthy way to do all these things. And my kids, they watch TV, sure, but they don't sit in front of a tablet every spare moment of their life. And I can't tell you how many times I go out in public and there's kids at the restaurant just sitting there watching a tablet.
Yep.
You know,
That's all they do.
They're not engaging in the meal, right? They're being pushed around in the grocery cart watching a tablet, and it just drives it. They're just plugged in, man. They're plugged in, and it's creepy, you know. It's really creepy.
Zombies.
Yes, it's so interesting. Like, the younger generation that is becoming voters, and I'm saying voters because, like, that's when we consider, an adult. And I think, they keep pushing the age back of adulthood back further, right? Now you gotta be 21 to buy tobacco. Now you gotta be 21 to do this. Yeah, you gotta be 21 to do that. So I think before too long, the you won't be considered an adult until you're 21. Other than who's the easiest ones to prey on. The young hormonal 18-year-old male who still thinks that he's got to, I can do more push-ups than you, so I'm better than you. That's who's going to join the military. So I don't know if they'll change the age because of that, but it's interesting. The next generation that's coming into the society, um, it's fascinating. I don't know.
Welcome to World of Warcraft conspiracy theories, ladies and gentlemen. Today's stream was sponsored by Andrew Tate. That is a joke, by the way. That
I
is
wish it was.
absolutely a joke. Yeah, Remy just said life lessons hour. Well, hopefully most people can listen to it, Remy, and realize that my brother and I are just pontificating on life. We're not subscribing to any political vision. We're not
No.
supporting any
Trump
particular
24. Oh, sorry.
yeah, we're not supporting any particular political or religious view. It's just a conversation about how interesting we find all of these subjects and how
Yeah.
they affect us on a personal level
Yeah. They affect
and
everybody, man.
etc.
It's so fascinating. And like now that the internet is so, I mean, we have access to everything, right? So we understand how things affect things globally.
Hmm. If you choose to educate yourself.
If you choose to, yeah. You don't have to. I want to, the older I get, and part of that's just growing up and maturing and realizing everything I was taught. So here's interesting. When you go to middle school, they tell you everything you learned in elementary school is wrong, forget it. You go to high school, they tell you everything you learned in middle school is wrong, forget it. You get to college, they tell you everything you learned in high school is wrong, forget it. Then you get to life, and life tells you everything you've learned is wrong, forget it. It's fascinating.
And then you get to my age and you realize that everyone was fucking
Right.
lying to you the whole time and you just need to
That's my
figure out your own
point.
path. Yeah.
That's my point. The older I get, the more I'm like, man, it's
I've
fascinating.
had people who, some people don't understand, like you and I've had conversation about this. Like, why did Chris and I choose to move out into the boonies, and why don't you live in X, Y, or Z location? Because I'm unplugged.
Right.
And this is going to get me canceled now by saying this in public. I have unplugged from the Matrix. I have no debt. I own free and clear my house. I paid for it in cash. I paid for all of the furnishings, the appliances, everything got paid in cash. We have no credit card debt. We have no mortgage. We have no car loans. We have no student loans. We have zero debt. We are debt free 40-year-old people with no mortgage and none, nothing. We are debt free.
So,
Do we live in the boonies? Yes. Do we have what many people would consider to be lesser quality? Yes, it's a homestead. So, but I have air conditioning and I have internet. What more do you really need? You know what I mean? In terms of working from home, you need a good internet connection and you need, air conditioning. I have those things. So why? Yes, I live some. It's inconvenient. There's no movie theaters here. Like it's 2 hours to the nearest movie theater. Does that matter? No, because I can stream everything I want to see. I have a 50-inch plasma TV, not plasma, whatever, 50-inch, smart TV. Like that doesn't matter to me. Like, th- th- mm, sorry,
think about, so you lost your job recently, right?
January. Yeah, well, yeah, I was
Yeah.
contractor, but I was supposed to be their director of
Right. Okay.
marketing, and then they got bought
Yes.
out, and the new
Yes.
investor said, "We don't want a white man. We want a young female to be the director." So whatever.
So, but think about how, I mean, that fucked the whole plan up, right?
Sure.
But think about how much worse it would have been if you had a mortgage payment, if you had a car payment. If you had all these things that society tells you you need, think about how much worse that situation would have been.
Yes, it would have been that would have been a contemplating suicide situation.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
level of badness that would have been had I had
Yes.
kids and a mortgage and two cars and student loans and suddenly I'm depending on this job and now I'm being told that the job's gone and I was expecting that because it's $85,000 a year of income and now it's gone and I'm going oh shit but
Yes.
by being able to not be in that situation it wasn't as bad. It was like it was oh well this sucks but at the same time it's not going to break me. You just pivot at that point and say well what's the next thing I can go work on. But that I've also been consciously separating myself for many years because I've been living in places where
Well,
it's more affordable for a very long time because I understood the whole bootstrapping thing and
Yes.
It's easier to bootstrap a company when you're living in a city where the cost of living is $1,200 a month versus a city where it's $5,000 a month.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why I started looking at Romania.
that's why, no, when I came back from Bulgaria in 2010 and I started looking at the cost of living in Colorado, that's when I said, screw this, I'm going to go to Mexico because I realized at that point I'd been living in Europe. It's like the cost of living is much less, but I have access to the exact same amenities. I have first world healthcare, I have first world public transportation, I have good internet, I have an international airport, I have safety and security, I have all the things that I need, but I don't have to pay. At the time, Colorado even back then was like $6,000 a month for two people.
Yep.
Um, and so even just for me as a solo individual would have been about $3,000 a month, and that was back in 2010. That's the equivalent of like 5 grand a month right now,
Yeah.
maybe even more. And so I looked at that and went, well, shit, I can go to Cancun, be on the beach, and be spending. I think the first apartment I got was $500 a month, fully furnished, all
Oh.
utilities included, $500 a month. And I went, well, shit. I could go live for $500 a month, and then whatever else I spend can be on food and other, and I was making, I think at that time I was working part time as a writer, making like $3,000 a month, and so I went, well, hell, um, I can I can make 3 grand a month and spend 1,000 and put 2 grand a month in the savings and live the high life. Well, I'm gonna go do that because if I move to Colorado Springs or something, it's gonna be $1,500 a month for a one-bedroom studio, unfurnished, and then I
Yep.
have to pay for all the utilities, and I got to furnish it, and I don't have a car, and I'm gonna have to get a car again, I'm gonna get a car payment, and it's like, no. Oh, Remy, yeah, that's I could do a whole 10-hour stream about my backstory, man.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good. His life has given me perspective that I would never have otherwise.
yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
Hey
Um,
man, I gotta go wake up some
yeah, and
kiddos.
I gotta go do stuff as well. So, um,
I'll catch you later.
yeah, I'll see you later. And stream-wise, everybody, I will be live. Well, just give me a few minutes. But I've got to bio, and I have a Rings of Power thing coming live here in a second. But I need a bio first and foremost. Give me a second here. I'm gonna push these out, and then I'll be back because we're gonna do more stuff this morning. So we're gonna pivot. All right, that's out. All right, that's out on Twitter. It's out on Facebook. It's out in Discord. All right, I'll be back in a few. Well, I think we'll just pivot to some World of Warcraft retail. Since I'm already here, let's put this over to just chatting. Let me log out of Classic. Oh, they're gonna be doing maintenance in a little bit anyway, so I've got, but that's still a ways away, so I can play some Classic. Anyway, Remy, yeah, I mean, I split my time as much as we can. We split our time between here and Missouri, um, because it's just from an economic standpoint. I've never been a believer in. So I don't know if you've ever seen the show. Was it called Newsroom? Maybe. Um, it was an Andrew Serkin or Andrew. Not what is his name? Andrew Sorkin? Andrew. Whether this music is really loud. Hang on a second. Aaron Sorkin, that's who it is. Yeah, the Newsroom. With Jeff Daniels. I must have the volume different. Oh, I do have the volume different here because I never play this with other people. So I have the volume up to 100% as opposed to Classic. I have it down to like 25% because I'm always in Discord with somebody. Woohoo! WoW's 18th anniversary. Oh, that's a little bit better. Drop that down to 25%. So Andrew Sorkin did a show called The Newsroom, and there was a. Don't get me wrong, I love my country of birth. However, there's a brilliant commentary in that show about the main character played by Jeff Daniels is doing like a debate. It's like one of the most famous clips that's always used on social media and YouTube and stuff. But there's this clip of Jeff Daniels' character doing an interview, and there's like some naive college students in the crowd, and someone's asking the question, you know, why do you believe that America is the greatest country on the planet? And he fires back and says, it's not. That's not to say that I don't love my country, but I appreciated that commentary because it points at the fact that, you know, they're not number one, except at military spending. In terms of economic stability, in terms of population happiness, in terms of healthcare, in terms of education, and all of these global standards, the U.S. is not number one. It's way down, you know, and it's not the safest country in the world. It has major. There have never been any school shootings in Mexico, ever. Does Mexico have issues with violence? Absolutely, but it's mostly cartel versus cartel, and if you're not involved in the cartel negotiation business, then you're not going to have any issues as a general rule. But there's never been a school shooting here because there is gun control, and that's a sensitive topic that not a lot of people want to discuss. But one of the reasons that I have been living abroad since 2008. Up until that point, I had a construction company in the U.S. I went through a major economic issue with the construction company, and not only the health stuff that I talked about in the medical bankruptcy and all that stuff, but having a construction company, I'm at the whims of the economy. And 2007 was a year I went from making $125,000 a year to barely making $30,000. I had to fire both of my employees. It was a bad year. And it wasn't going to get any better. And then I lost a big contract that I had where the owners literally said we would prefer to lose the contract and go to small claims court than actually have to pay you what we owe you. And so I was in this situation where it was just like I'm screwed. Like I've got 6 months until this. We were in the middle of winter. It's like it's going to be 6 months until the spring, till till it's time to work again. I have nothing on the books, so I just sold my tools, sold my truck, and quit and left, and moved to Bulgaria because that's where my partner at the time was from, and she had an apartment back there, and I suddenly went from needing to spend $6,000 a month to only needing about $1,000 a month for the exact same everything. Electricity, plumbing, water, heat, internet, insurance, food. And I was like, wait a second. And that's when I started really looking at it from an economic standpoint and going, there is no reason to live in a place where it's going to cost you thousands of dollars per month when you can have those same amenities. Now, there is something to be said for standards of living. That's a little different depending on where you go. And there's something else here, like the idea of the customer always being right. That does not exist here. No. So the customer is not always right. And there's no such thing as consumer protection agencies. And I have power outages a lot of times. We were having this discussion the other morning on a Saturday morning EverQuest stream, because one of the guys in our group, Devaris, works for the water company where he, the state that he lives in, he works for one of the water companies. And we were talking about how, sometimes I'll because we live in a small town, I don't pay per use. My water bill is not metered. My water bill is fixed. So I pay a fixed amount per month, and it is pennies. It is pennies. I pay a handful of dollars per year for my water bill, and I have unlimited use of water. The caveat to that is that I have a mustache hair tickling my nose or something. The caveat to that is that, like yesterday, as an example, we're in a small town. They were working on the water pump, and as a result, the power went out 3 times, really quick, on and off. We lost power. I was in the middle of a stream last night playing Fallout 76. My stream went out twice, and they had cut the power a 3rd time earlier in the day. So our power went out 3 times throughout the day, and we didn't have water for about 6 hours yesterday. We didn't have any running water because they were working on the water pump for town. Now, for some people, that's a major inconvenience. Not for us. Not for the people who live here, because we have a water container where we store water. A lot of people have cisterns, or they have what's called a rotoplast, which is a big plastic reservoir that they put up on top of their roofs. So they'll have a 500-gallon reservoir up top or a cistern down below where they store water. So when they have an outage, like yesterday, they still have running water. We don't have a cistern or a rotoplast, but we do have a big 50-gallon container that we just fill with water, and we use that when there are days like that. What's the inconvenience factor? Well, if there's a time when there might be 2 days where they're working on the pipes or something, and we're out, maybe the water's off for 2 days, that means that we might have to, instead of taking a shower, we might have to fill a container of water and take it into the bathroom and take like a camp shower, where you take a container and you pour water over yourself. And is that an inconvenience? I don't know. Is it? Some people look at that and like, oh, you're living like in poverty. No, I'm not. I needed to take a shower. I was able to get clean. Like, who says? Where does it say that?
Greetings.
I don't. There are sacrifices. Every place has pros and cons. What are the quests that I have here? You can meet the king at the Zocalo. Horde War Campaign, which I don't know anything about that. So let's go learn what the war campaign is.
Speak your business. Zandala.
How am I live in 2 places? Oh, no. Hang on. I'm premiering in the other place. So it's not live, it's just a premiere. I actually forgot that the premiere is still going. but premieres act like a live stream, so it's just a pre-recorded video, but it acts like it's live, so I can actually sit there and chat with people and hang out, and we can do super chats on the premieres and everything else. So I do the premieres every morning at 6 a.m. It's just today I happen to also be live streaming at the same time. I'm usually not live streaming at 6 a.m. Watching a lot of YouTubers who've packed their bags and left America, for sure. The funny thing is like I can call myself a hipster in that sense, because when I left and was traveling a lot, it was called location independence. Then it became digital nomadism, and I think it's still called digital nomadism, like digital nomads. But when I did it at the very beginning, digital nomad didn't exist as a term. Everybody called it location independence. You were independent of a location, and you could go wherever you wanted to. You could work online, make a living on the internet, and go wherever you want. And that's what I was a travel writer. So I just went to places and lived there and wrote guidebooks and did photography and, covered those destinations. And that got me into blogging, and that got me into YouTube, and that got me into videography, photography. And that's what I did for more than a decade. Am I back? I think my stream might be back. My ISP, literally, I watched the bit rate go down to 0, so my stream was cutting out, I think. So we'll see if that cut any of my conversation out. So we were going to buy the van, renovate the van, travel up do it, document it, come back, sell it. You can make about $10,000-$15,000 on those vans if you do it all yourself. And my brother and I have construction background, so we were going to do that. But I think the van life thing is legit, especially now with like Starlink. But even before Starlink, you could do the West Coast pretty easily because they have good cell coverage everywhere. And with 4G, you can essentially get, my 4G connection in Mexico City was giving me 80 meg upload download. So like 80 up, 40, 50, 80 down, 40, 50 up. That's more than enough to stream. That's more than enough for everything. So as long as you're in an area that has network coverage, you're good to go. So the van life thing is a legitimate thing. However, that's rough, man. Like a lot of people do it on the budget, which I would never do. Like Chris and I looked at it and like it would cost us more than it costs to live here. Even where we were living in Mexico City, renting and everything, it was going to be more money than that because a lot of people boondock, so they'll go camp in like the Walmart parking lot and that's where they sleep. And we were like, hell no, like if we're going to do it, we're going to go stay at official campgrounds where they have bathrooms and showers and hot water and trash facilities, and you go on hiking trails and take the cameras out. So we were looking at doing like a national park circuit with the van, which costs a chunk of money because it's not as expensive as a hotel, but you have to pay for the camp facilities because you're paying for the plumbing, the electric, the bathrooms, the trash facilities. You're paying for that access. But there are people who are legitimately doing that, and couples who are, living out of a van. They both work online, and they just go from national park to national park, and you can do that as a couple for about $2,500 a month, like $2,000 to $2,500 a month. You could do the van life as a couple. I would not want to do it as more than a couple, and as a couple I would still want a big van. I would not want to do it with a small van. But the van life is a legit thing, Remy. Like we know quite a few people in the travel blogging industry who pivoted to van life when COVID hit because all the travel industry dried up. Like you couldn't, no one was doing contracts anymore. Like all of our travel conferences got canceled. And so a lot of people just pivoted to van life because it was like, well, why am I paying, $1,500 a month on rent when I could be spending $1,500 a month and having a mobile apartment that can go wherever it needs to go. So we definitely considered it. And then at the end of the day, the reason we didn't do it was because at the end of 2020, like towards the summer of 2021, everyone started doing van life, and the cost of vans went up by like 40%. And so my brother and I looked at it, and we went and we're like, well, instead of making $15,000 of profit, if we do it now, we're going to be lucky if we make $4,000 to $5,000 profit. And it didn't feel like enough of a. We couldn't justify it at that point, because I was like, if I'm going to be investing 5 months of my time in something, I need to know that I'm going to be making money for those 5 months. And at the end of the day, we went from, splitting 50-50. If we were going to make 15 to 20,000 on the back end and split that, it was going to be okay. I'd make $10,000 for a 5-month investment. That's a couple thousand, and that's profit, by the way. That's not the money for our bills. That would have been net profit. I looked at that and went, $10,000 net profit is not a bad investment opportunity. But when it went down to like, maybe we're going to make, 2,000 to 3,000 a piece net profit, neither one of us wanted to do it anymore. So Chris and I just decided to spend our money and buy this place, because we bought this from her mom, and her mom had offered it to us twice before, and we didn't do it for various reasons, and we finally just said, screw it, let's buy. We bought it in October of 2021, and then I lost my contract in January, and we was like, well, that looks like it was perfect timing to have bought that house, because now we actually should probably go out there and start building the homestead, because there's no reason to stay in the city anymore if we don't have a big contract paying all the bills. So, and to be honest with you, I don't miss it. I don't miss working for other people at all. Like, I love my job in travel industry. I love doing marketing. I love all that stuff. But I don't miss, like, being able to do what I do now is much more liberating. And yes, Remy, you can't doing it with kids. There are people out there who are doing van life with kids. I would not want to do it with kids. I wouldn't even want to do it with pets. Like, it seems ridiculous to me to even think about doing it with pets. But going back to what I was saying, like, being able to do what I do now, like, I've been showing the analytics every month. We are not putting money in the bank. Not at the moment, but the channel is growing every month. We make enough money from the ad revenue from YouTube, combined with super chats and stickers and memberships and the support that people are doing for the channel. We make enough money on all of that to pay the bills. And that's the most important thing. The bills are getting paid. And as long as the bills are getting paid, it's all good. Like, obviously we want to get to the point where we're putting money back in the savings, because we spent a chunk to buy this place and move and all the other things. But being able to do what I do now is far more rewarding, because we're building up our own platform. That Patreon page is continuing to grow. More and more people are coming to watch tabletop and tuning in and purchasing books and everything else. That's continuing to grow. The YouTube channel is continuing to grow. And it's just a thing where I get to set my own hours now, which I kind of I've always been able to set my own hours working as a contractor, but when you're on contract, you still have obligations in terms of you have to hit certain deadlines. But here it's like I just get to do what I want kind of all the time now. And I do treat this like a job, so I'm very regimented. I'm very militaristic in the way that I approach any of my business ventures. But that's also, I could talk for days about the Stormhaven Studios and Saga Blue CBS stuff and raising all the money we raised from investors and that process. And that just comes from being militaristic about things. But I have a very, I treat it like a professional occupation, because it is. So I'm up at 4 a.m. every single day, and I do 6 to 8 videos every single day. I work a minimum of 10 hours a day on YouTube, and then I put in a couple hours a day on Weave and Void stuff. So I have minimum 12-hour days, on top of which I'm outside with a handsaw and a hammer and nails building structures for our chicken coop and cat shelter and all the other stuff, and just building this into a better place from what it was when we first bought it. My brother and I talked about this the other night. We had an offline conversation, which we briefly touched on earlier today. So many people just don't want to put in the. It's like everyone. I'm tired. Oh, I'm just so tired. I just don't have the energy. Yeah. Okay. Be a whiny bitch. Like that's the rude way to say it. Like everyone's tired. I'm constantly tired. My brother's constantly tired. But he was saying that earlier. Like him and his wife are always tired. But you know what? They got best young farming couple of the year for where they live. How did they do that? Like because they're constantly doing stuff. Their kids are constantly doing stuff, and people around them ask, "Well, how do you guys have time for that? How do you we make time?" Like and I'm not going to, my brother's finances are my brother's finances, but let me just put it this way. My brother is he's not quite 30, and technically he's very close to being, I believe, getting close to being, at least because of the assets and everything else, it's into the close to $1 million, like, and he's done all that because he's been working since he was 19 years old, 17 years old, whatever, and just constantly, he's not a whiny little bitch. He gets shit done. He puts in the time. He works, you know. There's something to be said for hard work. As much as people hate on Google, that YouTube thing has enabled me to become free from corporate life at 9 to 5. Like, yes, and here's the thing. Like, I have quite a few people who are like, Tim, can I just give you money? I would rather just give you money outside of YouTube because YouTube takes a cut. And I'm like, no, I would prefer that you do it through YouTube because even though YouTube does take a cut, I feel that the cut they take is fair because of what they give me in terms of tools and resources and constantly working on bettering. Like they're going to be monetizing YouTube Shorts in February, which means I'm going to start to be able to make money from YouTube Shorts as well as everything else. And not only that, but the analytics tools and all the other things that they give me, the memberships and the ability to do super chats. I mean, they allow me plenty of ways to generate revenue opportunities, and I don't mind them taking a cut because it's their platform. It's the cost of doing business. Now, getting to monetization was a pain in the ass, and I do think that that's way too strict, and they're supposedly lowering those standards in the new year to make it easier for people to get monetized. Yes, my brother is. We had a long talk about this the other day. I didn't care about investing in building something until I was into my 30s. Up until I was in my 30s, I just always had a construction company and worked hard for 9 months out of the year, and then 3 or 4 months of the year, I just went to Europe and traveled and spent all my money. I would just work, save, travel, and spend. Come back, work, save, travel, and spend. Come back, work, save, travel, and spend. And there were some ups and downs in there because of the health issues and stuff, but for the most part, that was the cycle. And then when I met Chris, and it's just my life, my objectives changed around the time when we started Stormhaven Studios, which was 2000. When we started doing that in 2014, that's when I really sort of pivoted and started looking at, okay, I'm getting older. I need to start thinking about saving money, buying a place, building something for the future so that I'm not, a 60-year-old with no pension, because I don't have a pension, I've been self-employed since I was 21. So if I'm going to have any retirement, I have to make that retirement fund on my own. So
Speaker of the Horde,
what are these quests all about?
make yourself useful.
$100 war resources. I think I have those. Click to complete the quest to war
Try
cache.
not to get yourself killed.
Oh yeah, I am 30, like mid 30s. I'm just hit 36. Okay, that makes sense now. We're doing things this weekend working with the honor bound.
The Zandalari do not seem to like me much. Get moving.
So these are not. I don't know what this is. The
For
war
the
effort.
Dark Lady.
Is this like PvP stuff? Well, we're not gonna do those right now. I don't want to. Oh, I know what I want to do. But Remy just said, I applaud your brother for investing in his kids' development. Yes. Chris and I do not have kids. But if we had kids, we would be doing the same thing. I don't think we'll have kids, honestly. It's an unfortunate. We've been very public about this. We may not have talked about it recently, but she had an ectopic pregnancy in 2014, and we lost the baby, and she had to get one of her fallopian tubes removed, and it was a very traumatic, like, emergency hospital situation. Like, we were jogging. All of a sudden, where's Chris? And I turn around, and she's, like, leaned up against a building, you know, several hundred feet behind me, and she's pale as a ghost. And it's like, what's wrong? And she's like, something happened. I have horrible pain in my stomach. Like, we need to go to the hospital. And she had ruptured, it had ruptured her fallopian tube. And it just, yeah, the emergency hospital. And, you know, it was years before we even felt comfortable trying again. And then by that point, we were older, and we were literally doing all the fertility tests at the clinics and everything, making sure that she's safe to try again, and deciding whether we were going to do in vitro or the normal, you know, natural way. We were doing all of that right before COVID started, and then COVID hit, and we literally looked at the way the world had shifted out of the pandemic, and we said, you know what? I don't think now is the right time to be thinking about bringing a kid into the world. So I don't know if, I mean, we've talked about adopting, maybe, but I don't think we're gonna, you know, natural. I mean, we might. You never know. We're both open to the idea, but we're also not like, we both understand we're in our 40s now. You know, it's like it's not.
What you doing here?
I don't need to take. I don't want to take any crafting. Now, what was I gonna do here? Sell.
Get to buy, Richmond? You go be buy.
I know what I want to do. How do I get flying? How do I get flying in Battle for Azeroth?
Mind just step around me. Huh? Okay, so be it.
Where's a guard that I can talk to that can tell me where to go find, like, a mount trainer? Because I want to know what I need to do to get flying. Woohoo! Explosive traps. I'm happy to take those. Oh, there's the barber. Oh, is the barber downstairs? Just real quick, I want to go change my shoulder pads because these are ridiculous.
Time is money, friend.
Oh wait, it's not the barber, it's transmog. I'm herping and derping. Where the hell do you find like a guard to talk to get directions? I have no idea, Dimitris. I've never played retail, so I have no frame of reference. I can't seem to talk to any of these big dudes. Like to be able to say, hey, where's the this, that, or the other? I could just go back to one of the major cities, I guess. Aha! Here's a guard.
What do you ask of the Zandalari?
Is it gonna be the trainer? No,
Watch
what would it
yourself
be?
within our city.
I maybe should just Google this, so I'm not trying to find this on my own, because I'll probably get, not ever gonna figure it out. Flying. Battle for Azeroth Pathfinder. It's an achievement series. Oh, so it's okay. I have to complete the Battle for Azeroth Explorer, complete 100 different world quests in Kultiris and Zandalar, and get Azerothian Diplomat? What? That seems kind of lame that you have to do... Oh, maybe I go look at achievements. Hold on. What would this be under? Okay, here it is. Yeah, Battle for Azeroth Pathfinder Part 2. Get Kultiris and Zandalar flying and Wonderwing 2.0. But you have to do Part 1 first. Okay, that's not going to be something I complete anytime soon. That's a whole level of yeah, I don't know. Ruby says, how do you like graphics in retail? I know Wrath was point wow when you became an awe at the scenery. Oh yeah, no. I have been like I'm like I don't know, a couple months into retail now maybe. I only play on Sundays usually. I am stunned at the visuals in this game, especially like when I came here and I saw all this like Mayan temple architecture. Like this pyramid, which you can't really get a good glimpse of. I need to get on a mount to fly and see. But this pyramid with like the giant circling like Mayan calendar that just continually circles around it. Dude, the visuals in Battle for Azeroth are just fucking amazing. Like it looks great. Like it's hard to see because I can't pan up and actually get the whole view of the. You kind of see at the top. Hang on, it's still a bad view. Let's get a little bit further out. We can maybe see it a little bit better. All right, so you can kind of see here in the background right here. It's moving. The outer side is moving counterclockwise, and the inner side is moving clockwise. So it's this giant like Mayan calendar that's spinning around the temple. And if you go inside, there's parts that are moving inside. It's really good visuals, man. Like my brother and I were talking about this morning, like the performance is out of this world as well.
What is your business?
Transmog, please.
I am sworn to defend the royal family.
Oh, he's way down there. Well, not gonna transmog. Well, I am gonna transmog. Where's the flight path? So I'm pretty happy with the visuals in retail. But I haven't seen it beyond Battle for Azeroth, but I'm very impressed with Battle for Azeroth.
Do you need protection? Go carefully.
Let's go do some transmog. Is that below us? It is below us. I also love the music. I really only have those 2 shoulder pads? I'll take those. How do I get back up? There are stairs over there, but I wonder if there's some stairs over here. Yep. Do 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 do. The music's really good too.
Do you know who I am? I pray it shows our
Tonight's tonight, by the way. Midnight tonight, God of War launches. So I'll be playing God of War tomorrow. Definitely be streaming that tomorrow. Where is... Risen, Lord of Kings. What is to keep them on task one? I wonder if we should do that one before we do the king. Well, that is way out there. I don't... How would I get out there? Well, we'll worry about that later. We're here with the king. I'll be right back. I need to take a bio. you know what I need to do? I forgot one thing. I'm back in the office though. I need to plug in the PlayStation and make sure that it's patching or has patched God of War because that launches tonight. Give me 2 seconds. What's up, Brian? Hey, Brian, thanks for the super chat or the super thanks the last couple days on videos and stuff, sir. Appreciate the support, Brian. I've been because I haven't seen you live because our schedules haven't aligned recently, but I know you're still supporting through super thanks and stuff, Brian. So I really appreciate that, man. Thanks. And I think you did 9 months of membership the other day. 9 months as a member. Thank you, sir. Thank you for believing in me. Appreciate it. Apparently my PlayStation's restarted for some reason. The one from 3 years ago, Remy, honestly, it's one of the best games I've ever played. Which is why I had no problems spending $70 to, buy the new one. I was like, I'll happily play that. It was such a good game, and all the reviews since the embargo dropped, I've literally seen 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10. Every review outlet is giving the new God of War Ragnarok 10 out of 10. And the last one was just, it's one of those games where I don't think I've ever played a game that was that good story-wise. Not many, anyway. Red Dead Redemption 2 is up there. Star Wars Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order are up there. But God of War was just... Yep, it is updating. It's also updating Cyberpunk. Yep, there's a 3 gigabyte update for God of War. I'm glad I plugged my PlayStation in now instead of doing that later. Brian says he's been stupid busy. Well, hopefully that means your company is doing good again, sir. Because I know you had a little bit of a downturn in business, and it happens. But it sounds like things are back on track, which is awesome.
It is good to be the king.
Zul began a coup, but he did not secure the pyramid for himself. Alright, we must learn what he's up to. Join the disciples of Gonk.
Rezan, grant you strength.
Come, hero. For this, you will want to hold on tight.
We're gonna ride with the Warpack.
Brothers and sisters of Zandala, the time has come to cut off the heads of these traitors who have sworn themselves to Zul. Gonk, lower of the
Your phone?
hands, lead your followers to the temple of the prophet and slay
Don't show any
foes
Don't
you
show any
find.
butt on my stream, baby, with your
Flash
holy
our
boxer
enemies
shorts.
out into the open. Paku, lower of the winds, take to the skies and seek out the heretics. Divine their goals and meet us at the temple. Rezan! Let's go hunting. For Zandala!
So this is an automatic scripted path, it looks like. Hey man, I know how that goes. We were talking about things earlier. I was talking about when I used to have my construction company, and 2007 was a bad year. I had 2 full-time employees, and that was the year I had to, unfortunately, to lay people off. It was a tough. It's never good. It's never fun, but you got to do what you got to do to survive. Like, there are good times and bad times, and what matters is if you can keep the bills paid. And as long as you're willing to put your nose to the grindstone, I think everybody can always get the bills paid.
What brings you before the Lord of the Hunt?
I, Sir Gonk, must have tips.
Oh, hold up. Oh, I've got a war druid with me. I was like, what kind of pet did I It's like, how do I suddenly have like a lizard pet? The war druid's with me. Oh shit, Cyberpunk's got a 29 gigabyte update to version 1.61. Hang on, let me go look at this. What did they patch? Cyberpunk patch 1.61. I wouldn't be too jealous at the moment, Remy. Like I said, I'm paying the bills. YouTube is paying the bills, but not being able to put any money in the savings for 6 months has been a little stressful. It's definitely you're living, you know, you're not living in poverty, but you're living paycheck to paycheck. So it's But I think as long as we keep doing what we're doing, I think by the end of the year we'll start to be able to finally start making enough money from YouTube to be putting money in the bank, which would be a really nice position. But I can say at the very least, even though it is just paycheck to paycheck, I can, if I have a bad month, it's not going to break me like it would, if I would have been back in the States, or if I mean, I know Nathan Nathan has a lot more bills than I have, and he's definitely gotta hustle, and I mean, I think he's talked about it on the air too, like needing, he's got to play the games that bring in the super chats, and I'm a little more flexible in that I can kind of stream what I want to when I want to, because super chats help, and I appreciate all of those people who do super chats and memberships and super thanks, but the ad revenue for me pays a big enough portion that I can just, as long as I just focus on 6 to 8 videos a day, then I can make it work. Man, I did not know. Let me go look at this again, because I did not know that there was a big patch today. That's it's a 29 gigabyte patch. Oh man, there's a whole bunch of quest issues fixed. That is a big update. Oh, Remy just joined as a guild champion. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. You know what? I just realized I forgot. I don't have any audio cues set up in Streamlabs for the new guild memberships. So Brian, who's in chat, Brian and I were talking about this a few weeks ago about putting in multiple tiers of membership, and I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it. I'll finally do that. So I updated to multiple tiers of membership at the beginning of a few weeks ago. I never updated Streamlabs for sound effects. I kind of need to do that. There was no audio cue that I just happened to look down at my phone and saw that Remy had just joined as a guild champion. So thank you for that, Remy. I appreciate the support, man. We're doing for guild captains and above.
Let the captain their sky killers! Fly, my children! Slay these heretics!
One of the things we're doing for guild captains and above, Remy, I don't know if you're interested, but I'm watching Battlestar Galactica right now. Oh, maybe there is an audio cue. Oh, no, maybe that's the normal membership. That's the normal membership one, but it doesn't have a special one for guild champions. So, but still, doing Battlestar Galactica rewatch for guild captains and above. So, if you are interested in those, I've done the mini-series, the first episode, and I'm doing the second episode either today or tomorrow. Try to do 2 a week. 2 episodes a week for guild members. Then we have the Lotro chicken coop stuff, which I think today we're actually getting our sheet metal and everything is supposed to get delivered today, so I'll be able to, once the rain stops on Thursday, get back to finishing the build. Brian says, I was cutting grass, picking up dog poop with a shovel 6 years ago and had more peace. Dude, I hear you, man. Yeah, running a business can be a little stressful sometimes. That's the other thing I've talked about, you know, if the YouTube continues to grow the way we're seeing it grow, I think I'm going to hire somebody in January, assuming that we can get the numbers where we want. But if the numbers get where I want them by January, I'm going to hire a clip. I call him my clip bitch. Oh my god, I'm going to die. I should pay attention to this. I may need to feign death.
Is that really the form you choose to walk around in?
Go ahead and feign. Hey, no worries, man.
I don't have a target.
Yeah, patch is yeah. My laptop, which is starting to get a little older now, like I've got it's a, I'll tell you what it is real quick. I'll go look at the, it's not the, you know, at the time that I bought the laptop, it was really a big deal. It's not letting me. Well, we'll look at it another day. I don't remember. It's got like a 500 gigabyte solid state and then a 500 gigabyte normal. And the normal is like, I've been maxed out for like the last 6 months because games these days take like, you know, 90 to 130 gigs, you know, and it's like I can install 3 or 4 games, and on top of the videos for video production and all our photo albums, like I've just had to start filling up all my externals. Because yeah, it's becoming a... Oh, that heals my pet too when I do that. That's cool.
Ever walk on the wild side?
Well, I'm glad I decided because I only have one Ethernet extra, so I just alternate between the PS4 and the Series X whatever one I'm going to be playing next. And I know God of War's coming out tomorrow, so I was like, I need to switch back over to the PS4. I'm glad I plugged it in because the 30 gigabyte file for Cyberpunk and whatever God of War was, a 3 gigabyte, and it's updating it now. But my poor laptop it's feeling its age finally. It's got a 1080 in it, which is so, you know, 5 years ago. 32 gigs of RAM, 500 gigs solid state, 500 meg solid state, 500 meg Gig, not sorry. Gig, not meg. But still, it's like it's definitely feeling its age. The graphics card is for all the old games that I play, it's not a big deal, but that's why I'm glad I have the Series X, because anything that needs like bleeding edge graphics, if I can play it on the Xbox, I would rather. Here's what I did notice. I noticed that when I went to go load New World the other day and I was playing New World, like I had to turn the settings down to medium because I was getting some hitching, and my fans were like like New World was definitely freaking my poor laptop out. I was like, what are you doing to us? We're a 5-year-old laptop. Don't make us work this hard. 6 years. I don't remember how old my laptop is now. I think I bought it in 2019. It's a few years now. Yeah, it's a good time to be a hard drive. It's a good time to be in the hard drive business.
Lordy, what took you so long?
I will stab you with your own tusks.
Promises, promises. Like my lower always says, go away.
There are a lot of Zul's forces between here and Atal Desar. We need to clear them out. Wait, Ral! You missed Rezan and Rastakhan.
What? Where?
They are nearly to the gates of Atal Desar. Quick, we must catch up.
What is it, child of the Horde?
Soul thinks to bar me from my domain. I will consume his soul.
Upon your foes. May you savor the flesh of your enemies.
Like, look at these visuals. This is really, it looks really good. Oh, he just flew off with something. He just chucked a, like, giant beast down on the ground. That was awesome. Oh, hang on. The spears just came up. Speak with the king.
Welcome to Zuldazar.
Uh-oh. Animation sequence.
Your visions had best be right about this.
Heretic! You trespass upon sacred ground.
Ah, he arrives. The lower of... What do we call you now?
Mind your tongue, traitor.
Razan. Do you not understand? I am not your subject. And you have no place among kings.
Well, he ain't happy about that. Oh, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Oh shit.
The time of the lower is done. The hour of blood approaches.
Did he just literally like kill Aloha?
He is gone. That not a lower.
We gotta go, man.
Retreat. Live to fight another day.
Charge, brothers and sisters. Stop for nothing.
Okay, that was intense.
Be you predator or prey. May your foes tremble in your presence.
Okay, got a couple of achievements there. That's nice. New breastplate, which is good. With Resident Dead, I feel my lifeblood weakening. We must defeat Zul before then.
Zandala forever.
Oh, I just got tranquilizing shot? Thought I already had that. Speak with the princess in the royal chambers.
Grant you strength.
Defeat Yasma and
May your
Althaldar.
foes
This says it's a
tremble in
group
your
quest. It's a dungeon! I got my first dungeon quest. Ooh, I wonder if I should... I haven't done any dungeons yet. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's I want to do a dungeon. I've never done a dungeon. Let me check with Chris to see if how long breakfast is before I do a... Remy says, huge dinosaur geek, Jurassic Park, an influential film to find how dinosaurs look. Hell yeah, dude. I think all those Jurassic... I like all the Jurassic films. Some of them are better than others, but I do like all of them. Let me bring it back, because I need to see how close breakfast is before I decide to run a dungeon. Alright, I'll wait to do the dungeon because breakfast is soonish. Interesting how paleontologists now think what some popular dinosaurs look like T-Rexes now has lips so their teeth are covered. Yeah. Hey man, one of the coolest things about science is how our knowledge of the universe changes as things go on. By the way, on a side note, for anybody interested and listening, the fact that they just had another 30 gigabyte patch for Cyberpunk should be proof to everybody that they aren't abandoning that game. Like, they're continuing to make it bigger and better continually. Like, they're definitely dedicated to it with, you know, the DLC coming out, the follow-up, lots of good things. I love that game. I'm answering YouTube comments here from this morning's Rings of Power video. Alright, back to whatever I was doing here. I need to report to the princess. Ooh, there's a quest on the map, too. That's interesting.
There is much to do. Speak quickly.
What is this? A scouting map. Oh, so it leads to new zones. That's interesting. Well, we'll save that for later. You know, one thing I can do while we're sitting here is I can head while I'm waiting for breakfast. I can kind of travel to the east because we had a quest over there. Huh, it keeps them on task. That's way over there, but we can fly over here.
Zandala will endure. I serve
Oh, I literally go to Facebook and there's a social media. The first thing I see on Facebook is Cyberpunk 2077's Facebook page talking about patch 1.61 just rolled out 45 minutes ago. That's too funny. Man, I am so excited for Kurt Sutter's new show. It's going to be a Western. It's going to be good. Alright, sorry. Getting sidetracked. Back to the... I think we have to go on foot from here. I guess maybe we can get there going over through here? There's like a... Cut through the jungle. I think we can... Oh, that looks interesting down below. It's like an atoll. Maybe some type of marshland. There's definitely a flight point up ahead. Seeker's Expedition. Path down here leads to yeah, something else. Hang on, I need to untrack that quest. Retrack, I should say. There's a treasure chest down there.
Hello. Trust no one. Speak quickly. I'm listening. Farewell.
Yeah, yeah.
Gather bugs. Oh, it's these two again. They're back, like, going over whether it's magic or voodoo, is science or voodoo. Yeah. They were a really fun quest line to do earlier. Alright, I gotta be careful not to get too sidetracked, because, I'm supposed to collect bugs. Did they give me something to collect bugs with? Yes, Remy. Everyone's in Dragonflight right now. This is Battle for Azeroth. I would say it's probably related to... I mean, it could be phasing, but I would say, honestly, it's probably because everyone's off doing Dragonflight. I will say when I first started a few days ago, or a few weeks ago, sorry, there were more people around the Pyramid town, back in town, in Dazara lore. But I haven't seen that many people in the last few sessions, but I think it's because because this is one of those new servers for new players. So I would say I'm coming into it late into the game, so I would say most people are probably way ahead of me in terms of Dragonflight. Plus, you also have to understand that I'm a new player, so I've never played retail, so they force you to do Battle for Azeroth. So this is just where I have to do Battle for Azeroth. I don't get the option to do anything else. I have to do Battle for Azeroth. So I would say it's probably all of the people who have already leveled up characters to 50 and etc. get to do whatever they want. And so they're probably off doing other things, especially with Dragonflight launching. Am I supposed to maybe go up on this ship? But I would say it's probably also extreme phasing. But I would put most of it on this being old content that no one's doing. And honestly, I don't mind. I'm playing this like a single player game. I'm treating this exactly like I treat Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's exactly how I'm treating this. I don't think it's quite released yet. I think we're still in pre-patch. Hey, leave me alone. Where's that treasure chest? Aha, I see it. Oh, I need crab meat too. I didn't just realize that. All right. Come here, Mr. Sandbore. All right, we definitely need the sailor dude. Just need the letter.
I'm out of range.
All right, just need a little bit more crab meat. All right, should be one more on the way out.
I need to focus. I don't have a target.
Why do we get out of here without getting aggro?
I got the goodies. Come on back with more of that coin now.
What's shaking? Have a good one.
All right.
And you watch your back. Beware the living. Victory for
Stop their evacuation efforts, which is going to be where? Close? I should probably go ahead and wrap it up before I pursue any further quest lines. Because Chris has got breakfast. It was almost getting ready to be ready before I started, and I haven't heard her yell at me yet, but I bet breakfast is ready. So, here's what we're doing today. In a little bit, after I finish breakfast, I'm going to come back and I'm going to watch an episode of Battlestar Galactica for our members here on YouTube. So if you are a guild captain or above, there will be an episode out later today. It'll take a couple hours for it to upload and process, but I'm going to get that doing so I can get that done. And then I've got another video that I'll record and get out in the meantime. Tonight is Wednesday night. Tuesday night. Tonight's Tuesday night, so we're back for Warcraft Classic tonight, theoretically. I think we're going to run some heroics this evening with some people who want to run heroics. Remy, if you're around tonight. I think that's the plan in any case, is I'm going to at least be available with Stigwell, and I will be leveling my mage unless there are people who want to run heroics. But tonight is a Warcraft Classic night. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights are, for me, for the moment, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are Warcraft Classic. That's probably going to change. Yep, there's Chris with breakfast, so I was perfectly timing. Wednesday nights are the raid nights and or heroic nights. So theoretically, now that Nathan is level 80, we need to get him geared up to do 10-man raids. But theoretically, Wednesday nights are the nights where we're going to be doing 10-man raids and hopefully pursuing that part of Warcraft Classic as well. But if not, we'll still just do heroics on Wednesday nights. But Thursday nights are our static groups, so those nights are already locked in. But for the moment, Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights are also World of Warcraft. Now, I think moving forward, Tuesday nights for me, probably next week I'll be playing God of War on Tuesday. I think Tuesday nights might become my console night at some point in the near future. Because we're at the point now with World of Warcraft Classic where we don't have to be pushing to get levels because most of these people are level 80. So now it's just getting the last few people who want to raid to level 80 and then starting to work on the raid content. We're only doing that once a week on Wednesday nights. So doing heroics in between there. Sunday mornings I'm doing a little bit of retail, and then I switch over. Like this past Sunday morning I ran heroics with Grolar and Assyrian and I forget Severin was his name. I can't remember his name. He's from YouTube, but he has a different name in game. So we ran a guild group with Aya as well. So we ran a guild group. We did 2 heroics dungeons on Sunday morning. That'll be continuing for the foreseeable future. On Sunday mornings, I definitely play World of Warcraft Classic. But Monday nights, I do Fallout 76 with the Maduros. Tuesday night, at least this week, I'm going to be doing World of Warcraft Classic tonight. But next week, it'll be God of War. And probably moving forward, it'll be consoles on Tuesday nights. Wednesdays are World of Warcraft Classic raid nights. Thursdays are World of Warcraft the static group. Friday night is P99. And this week, we're starting a new thing at Sparrow's request. We're going to be doing new characters on the Thornblade server, and we're going to be skipping back and forth between Thornblade one week, P99 the next week, Thornblade one week, P99 the next week. And then Saturday mornings, I'm still doing Yelanak EverQuest with Kel and Hrolf and Devaris and Adam. So we're still pursuing our onwards and upwards. Lukelin is launching this week, so we're going to be doing Lukelin content this Saturday morning. That's going to be fun. And in between that, I'm doing my Rings of Power videos and lots of other stuff. I'll be finishing up the chicken coop and stuff this week, so more videos on that coming out for members as well. And I'll have some more homestead videos come out on the other channel. So for those of you who aren't following along, definitely check out the other channel as well. I'm going to go eat breakfast, guys. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Remy, thanks for joining as a member of the guild today. Thanks for the support. Thanks to all of you doing super thanks. I know Brian was in here earlier. Brian's been dropping super thanks on videos, so thanks for the support, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm going to go get fed and get more videos out.